there. It's your second favorite DP right here, okay? No, that's Deadpool, you silly little Hufflepuff. Anyways, I'm gonna need you to shut up that pretty little mouth of yours and pay attention because the show's about to start, alright? And, I don't know about you, but I know who's my vote for sexiest ex-soldier turned pop culture show host. Alright, enough foreplay, let's get on with the show.
Every week's an epic feat. They shed light on what's the trend. When will the madness ever end? From movies to the latest shows, you never know how far they'll go. Come aboard and take the ride. Let's uncover what's inside. Warriors of the night, here to fight. Pop culture explosions in the spotlight. Tune in for laughter and some cheers. Legends.
Hey, everybody, welcome. One and all, today is November 18th, 2025, and this is episode 222. Lucky 222 episode of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I am, of course, CQ, your beloved pop culture host, but I can't do this alone. No, I can't. I need me a sidekick. Mad Mike's off in the world doing I don't know what. Some about America going to war with Uruguay? I don't know. He's busy somewhere doing something. But in his place, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's co-host is the fabulous K Mill. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? How we doing tonight?
We doing good. It's Tuesday. It's the day we get to nerd out and talk about all the geeky, lovely, wonderful things that we love to share our passions about. It's a little different for us on the back end. Not naming names, but there's people creeping in the green room. It's fine. It's fine. We're just going to pretend like they're not even there. And we're going to do the show, not as if somebody's watching over my shoulder. It's cool. It's cool.
But she's a nice lady, though.
It is a nice person. It's a very nice person. I can't wait for you guys to meet our guest tonight. But it is Tuesday. There's so much that's happened in this last week. First off, real quick, I got to go to an early screening of the movie Eternity with starring Elizabeth Olsen, Miles Teller, and oh crap, I forgot the other guy's name. But it was actually a really, really great movie. Obviously, I don't want to spoil anything. It comes out in theaters, I believe, this weekend. I think it's worth a watch. It is kind of a, romantic comedy. It's very much a date night film. I happened to watch it. Oh man, this is going to be a little bit personal. This is going to be a little bit tough, but the premise of Eternity is, the afterlife isn't what we've been told. It's not just heaven, hell kind of thing. It's this thing that once you're done with life, you go into the afterlife and you decide how you want to spend your eternity. How do you want to spend the rest of your afterlife? And they have a world where you can be a baby and you're a baby forever, and a world where you can shop and you never have to pay anything, it's all these perfect world kind of situations. And so in our story, a husband and wife pass, they've been married 65 years. And they have this lovely marriage, and then they pass within a week of each other. So they find each other in this junction before you pick your eternity. But unfortunately, she was married to the love of her life very young, and he passed away at war. And so he's been sitting there waiting for her for 67 years. And so now she's stuck in the middle of choosing her eternity. Is it going to be with her husband of 65 years? Or is it going to be, the love of her life, the person that she never got a chance? They weren't even married less than a year before he died in combat. And so obviously it puts her in a very, strenuous position, and they're both vying for her. No, you should be with me. You should be. It's very funny. It's very heartfelt. I think it does bring up a lot of, ideology, thoughts on, what is a life? Is it, is this one person who you didn't get the chance to be with, right? That was the fiery, passionate, she was I was at my happiest with him, but isn't love something that's built up over time and through experiences and through hardships and through ups and downs, right? So is it the person that was perfect, but you never really got the chance to be with, or is it the person that you built a life with, even though it might have been settling? So it brings up a lot of really cool, interesting concepts, and it's a different play on the afterlife. In fact, when I went to see the film, one of the things about the movie is that when you're going through this junction, it's almost like they're salesmen, come to my afterlife, my eternity. And so they're very much pitching you. It's almost like if you've been to one of those trade shows where they're like, oh, check out our company, check out our thing. So even before the movie, they were out there giving out pamphlets. So here's the pamphlet for Mall World, shop till you drop, or shop for eternity. No credit card bills in our world, blah, blah, blah. There's infantilization land, never ending childhood, parents assigned on arrival. So you can be an infant forever. Let's see. There's, oh my God, this is terrible. Workout world, all of the pain, none of the gain. So it's a world where you just work out all the time for no reason, apparently, but there's freaks that like that. Uh, here's some of the more
Tommy.
interesting ones. There's the anything goes eternity, safe words required. Uh, yeah, it's very risque. We'll say that's the right way. And then
Can you send me one of
there's
those?
and then there's Sinners Welcome, World of Satanism, the blasphemy encouraged, now with pickleball. So there's an actual Sinners Welcome, join us at booth 666. So it was a clever little marketing thing that they did to promote the movie. And it's worth a watch. I mean, if I'm being honest, is it something you have to run to the theater and like, oh, you have to see this in theaters? No, probably not. I mean, there's going to be plenty of people that are more than happy to see this on streaming or on demand. But it's definitely worth a watch. It's definitely worth a watch, whether that's at home or in cinemas. But yeah, so that's my spoiler-free review of Eternity.
That sounds like an at-home date night trap to me.
It could be. It could be.
A trap. Here's what I think it's probably going to be. It could be a trap. Is the discussions that'll kick off between couples
Oh yeah.
is where would you spend your eternity? And that's where somebody's gonna put their put their foot in their mouth. They're like, I'm gonna be at a deer stand all day. What would you do? I was like, I'll spend it with you or something like those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be some genius. It's like strip club, baby.
and that brings up a lot of, again, those conversations, like you said, that is this something we're going to spend eternity together? Because you can go off and do your eternity, and then like the caveat, and I think it's the one thing I didn't like is that there's this idea in the movie, and really it's just to up the stakes, the ante a bit, is that once you pick your eternity, you can't go back. Like that is your eternity. There is no second like you don't get to, oh, I want to, eat I want to be at an all you can eat buffet. And then, after hundreds of years, you're like, oh my God, I just want to do something else. You can't. That's your eternity. And so, I didn't like that part of it but I get that there has to be stakes, right? She can't just go, oh, I'll spend 10 years with you and then 10 years with you and then 10 years with you. Like you can't do that. Like, the idea is she has to pick one of them because that's it. That's your choice. That's what your eternity is. So yeah.
If I was one of the guys, I'd be having the argument. I'm like, why can't we just have an eternal throuple?
That was
both worlds, baby.
That comes up.
Okay. It's like one day if you're tired of me, then I can go off fishing and then you can go hang out with him.
Yeah. The guys weren't a big fan of that. She was fine with it, but the guys weren't a big fan of.
Of course, best of both worlds.
You gotta take what you can get. So yeah. So that was Eternity. Definitely worth a watch. Real quick, let's say hi to the people at home. Hey, Ton, Raymond, what's up? Anubis in the house, and Charles, Robin, hi, how you doing? Heath, hello to you all. Oh my God, silly me. Totally forgot to mention. Welcome, guys, and also stay tuned for the second hour as we have Heather Halley joining us live here in the studio. Well, not live here in the studio, but virtually live here in the studio.
Creeping in the studio.
Yeah, just kind of creeping in the background. It's fine. She is awesome, and we're going to have such a great conversation. I can't wait. If you have questions for her incredible career, her roles as paramedic in the Metal Gear Solid series, or any of our other stuff, have them in the chats, and we will get to them as we can, as always. But real quick, and this isn't pop culture news or anything like that, but I have to say a quick thank you. A few weeks ago, we were, and I don't, man, was it when I was, oh God, I don't remember if it was the last time you were on, or it was a different, might have been Mike was on, but we were talking about Christmas, we were talking about holidays, we are talking about gift giving and all these things, and a question came up in the chats where it was like, what would you want for Christmas kind of thing? And I said, well, I don't really ask for things. I kind of get my own things, whatever. I love giving gifts. I'm not one to receive gifts very often. But, gun to my head, I was like, I don't know. I would something to throw in the background. And I said specifically like helmets. You know me, I love collecting my little helmets and So, I know
Couldn't
there's
tell.
yeah, I know there's a bunch of
Couldn't
other
tell.
ones that I don't have. And that was that. Well, yesterday, a box came in the mail, and I can only say it's from a Secret Santa because they didn't put their name on it. It was only in my name, and yeah. So I want to show you what will be joining the background very shortly. Probably after the holiday, I'm going to do a complete tear down and rebuild of the background. But starting off first, we got the Doctor Doom in the building. That is the Doctor Doom helmet with the cloak and everything. So that'll be joining my rogues gallery because I've got Loki Scepter, I've got Thanos, I've got the Green Goblin over here. So there'll definitely be a rogues gallery of bad guys that will be there. I think. Did we lose K-Mill? K-Mill, you with us, buddy? Okay, that's weird, man. We got. You might want to cut out and join again because we got disconnected. All right, that's all right. K-Mill, my buddy K-Mill, we lost you. All right. So that was one, because that wasn't two. The other. Oh, there's K-Mill. Hey, welcome back, buddy. You gotta get your internet fixed, bud.
I'm tied to Xfinity as long as I'm staying in this apartment.
God bless. God bless. The second that will be joining the background very soon is none other than the Wolverine helmet. Look at that.
Whoa.
Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I cannot wait to put it on, obviously, but secondly to put it in the background because
That'll be cool.
yeah, you can't not put it on. Like you got it. You got to run around Wolverine to annoy the hell out of my wife. Yes, that's coming, honey. That's coming. All right.
This is where I can take ownership. I sent those to you. The real person.
Nice try.
Does.
Nice
Yeah.
try. Nice try. No sucking up. I have my suspicions. I have my suspicions of who sent it, but I'm not going to call out people. But thank you. I know you're watching. Thank you very much. It's a very, very nice gift. It's not often that people send me gifts, which is a weird feeling, but you know what? I humbly, graciously accept. It's like when somebody tells you, thank you for your service, and you're like, okay.
That's the best. Always the best time. I just default to thank you for the support and call it a day.
Oh, that's so sweet. You're such a dope. All right. He says, it was my understanding that there would be a giveaway tonight. What? No. But as with always, I'm such a huge, love being a gift giver. The last two episodes we do before the holiday break, we are going to do like the season of giving, nonstop giveaways for like 2 hours straight. I have stuff from New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, Awesome Con, MGS Con, stuff that I've collected through my travels of the year. And my favorite thing to do at the end of the year is give it all away. So, yes, the last two episodes, usually it's one episode, but this year I'm so in the mood for giving. We're doing 2 back-to-back episodes of the season of giving here at WCF Nation Radio and Pop Culture Warrior. Yeah.
I can only imagine the pile of loot you got sitting right up the side there.
It's so bad. It's
I haven't
so
been there
bad.
for FTX in a minute, so I can only imagine what it's looking like.
It
now.
is so, the usual corner that's filled,
Yeah.
and then it's almost up to me now. It's almost to me.
Almost spilling into the camera.
Yeah, it is. There might be shadows over there because of it. And then there's stuff on this side too. Like it's just so much. It's so much. I'm soon I'll be sitting on the pile of things I have to give away. Anubis says I should wear the Doom on FTX. You know what? I'll do it. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll do it. I wore the Magneto for the Halloween episode. And man, it got so hot so fast. I was drenched. Like, no wonder the guy's always angry because it's the thing doesn't breathe. You can't breathe in that
Well,
thing. It's
then you got the studio lighting in there too.
yeah, I did get the studio lighting, so but it's better now with the LED panels versus back when we had the like the light bulb ones. Oh my god, it got so hot. Anyway, all right, what else? Dude, the first story we got to talk about, which has my mind reeling. I don't know if you saw this in the news, but GameStop, the company GameStop that really revolutionized the whole buy and trade in games kind of gimmick in retailing, they're doing a promotion where they say you can trade in anything and get store credit. I can't, you know what this reminds me of? Remember when 7-Eleven did the bring your own container for slushies promotion?
Yeah.
And people were bringing in like the little kiddie pools and the giant igloo containers. And like, this reminds me of that. This is like this Hail Mary of a let's see, what happens when we do this. How can this be profitable? How can this be profitable for GameStop?
Well, it'll definitely. I would like to think it's going to stir some social media interest because you're gonna have people like tagging themselves as they bring in stuff. I'm curious if they'll do anything special for like for bottle cap lids.
Ooh, that's a great Fallout tie-in. Yeah.
My girlfriend found a ton of she was cleaning out a bunch of stuff the other day, and she found a ton of her old bottle caps she was collecting for Fallout stuff. And then she was like, "Great, now I can actually put it in the Fallout lunchbox that I had found. I got it at a convention recently." So this not that she'll trade anything in, but that would be cool to see them in there. Did you look on the list of restricted items?
Yeah. So here's what I found. The video game retailer branding December 6th as a lax day for trade-ins, where customers will be able to bring in nearly anything and get up to $5 store credit. To fully understand negative, I'm trying to look for where is the where is the list? I had it. This is why I gotta be prepared.
Which
do you have it?
Restricted items? The restricted items?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got it right here. I don't know if you want to read it off, but there's like something in here I think is kind of funny out of all of this stuff. You got your usual stuff: hazardous waste, chemicals, liquids, lithium-ion batteries, weapons, ammunition. Go figure. Dead or alive animals, taxidermy items are valid for trade. So, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, or pharmaceuticals, legal or not. They don't want computers such as desktops, laptops, notebooks, computer peripherals intended for the use with computer and weighing less than 100 pounds, monitors, keyboards, keypads, mice, pointing devices, external hard drives, including those normally accepted in trade. This is what I thought was funny. Facsimile machines.
Fax machines. Wow.
I definitely don't want any 1990s tech that is still used by the medical industry, but document scanners, printers, 3D printers. I guess there's enough 3D printers in the world. Digital picture frames, small electronic equipment, portable digital music players, VCRs, DVD players, DVRs, digital converter boxes, cable or satellite receivers, projectors, including those with DVD player capability, small scale servers, televisions, gift cards, and other currency.
What is not on this list?
Gift cards and other current, like they don't want money. Like, what if you come in there with like $100 in Canadian dollars? Like, if I was working there, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Jewelry, sexual and explicit items, and then items resembling body parts.
So at this point, I don't know what's not. I mean, games. Like, so basically bringing games.
Maybe that's what they're trying to direct you to, is like everything but games is what they got on the restricted list.
So here's what I found. Trade Anything Day 12/6. Bring whatever, get store credit, some no questions asked, which I don't know how you say some no questions. Customers will have the opportunity to trade anything, caveat, in the store credit at GameStop. Promotional event is a great opportunity to educate customers on our trading program while having fun, giving store credit for unique items we normally do not accept. Customers will be limited to trading in one item for this promotion. So you can only trade in one item and get $5 store credit. So if I bring in, a dinosaur fossil that's worth millions of dollars, they will give me $5 store credit for it. You know what I mean? Like, this, on the surface, and I think this is what this is about. On the surface, this is a very cool gimmick. It's going to capture news headlines, trade in anything. Right. But like most things with GameStop, and this is coming from somebody who in my teenage years worked at a GameStop, nice. The promotions are what we call to bring in the suckers. And then you it's like a used car salesman, basically, right? Like you sucker them in, and then you hammer them hard. And back in my day, we were selling the hand crank. Remember the CD cleaners? Like you would because that you had all those scratches on your games and stuff, and and then you and it cleans this. We had to pedal that shit like it was no tomorrow. That and the always selling the warranty on anything. It was if you bought a battery, like, would you like a warranty on this? I think it's important you get the warranty. It was. Oh God, that was horrible.
What if I Photoshop somebody onto some lingerie and put it in a frame photo? How about I put CQ on a Photoshop CQ on some lingerie and put it in a frame? You and King, that I'll get I'll find a picture where two scantily clad ladies in lingerie.
Yes.
And then I'll put CQ and King's face on there with no AI. I'll do it the old fashioned way.
The good old fashioned way.
And then I'll take it to GameStop. I'm going to be Googling where there's the local GameStop, and then I'll take a picture of myself bringing it in.
Yes. You have to document the whole thing. So I want footage of you creating it and then walking into the store and then getting your
I got to keep it tasteful though, because it can't be sexual and explicit.
That's right. Just two dudes hugging. Just two dudes hugging it out, and so I just I'm looking through this. Items traded toward this promotion are not applicable to local trade hold restrictions. Items can normally blah, blah, blah. Suitable items traded will be donated to a local charity near your store after the event has concluded. A list of recommendations will be provided, and stores are free to partner with their local charity of choice to arrange. So at least they're donating stuff to charity. Really, what they're saying is this has no value to us. We are going to throw it away. That's what they're saying. The 11:30 marketing set includes a trade, anything. The list of exclusions is so, ridiculously long that I'm trying to imagine something that wouldn't, like a blender?
One of the announcements is that means send your jackalopes a photo of that aunt you don't like, Little League trophy, over to your local GameStop. So, if you got like a Dundee Award or a T-ball, your kid that's disappointing you is a T-ball trophy. You take that in for $5.
That participation trophy. Is there anything in there about food? I don't see anything about food, right? Alcohol, tobacco, drugs, and pharmaceuticals. Because I'm like, I'll make a sandwich and then just bring it in I'd like $5, please.
I don't see anything about perishable items,
right? So if we can squeeze that in, everybody bring in a Tic Tac. Not even the whole thing, just a single. What are they called? Ticks or tacks? A single tack of Tic Tacs. Give them a single tack and be like, I would like to trade this in for $5 of store credit.
Go ahead and give them two. Make it a full Tic Tac.
A full Tic Tac. A set of Tic Tac. A Tic Tac.
What?
They get a Tic
What?
Tac.
I just had a dark thought come across. It says items resembling body parts. What if you actually brought a real body? Like, no, it doesn't resemble. It's an actual body
Yeah.
part.
It
You gotta take it. And they're like, is it yours? Does it matter?
doesn't matter. Like, yes, it's my third hand that I keep in the truck. Look,
They-
come
they're
on, how
not
dumb
gonna
are you?
miss it.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep an eye on this because I'm really curious to see how this shapes up. I
I'm hitting
can't
Control F on the
imagine.
list of-
Go
I'm
ahead.
hitting Control F and making sure perishable doesn't pop up on there. In case the sandwich.
God forbid. No candies. The I'm curious to see how this is gonna work out, and because again, I don't know. Like, this has to be a multi-million-dollar investment from them to bring people in because at $5 a person, again, even assuming only one person you know what I mean? I trade something in, but then like I can have my wife trade in something, my kid trade in something, my brother trades. This will
It's a
rack
one.
up a lot.
It's a 1 day thing though, so
Yeah.
it's not like a 2 week or a 1 week thing. It's basically they're putting you on the spot. Like if you want free $5 from GameStop, you gotta come in the day
Yeah.
before Pearl Harbor Day.
I'm just
So-
thinking, like, don't you think at this point, like, let's just call a spade and say, hey, come into GameStop, we'll give you a $5 gift certificate, gift card. Like, why? Like, let's not play games with the trade-in nonsense, right? I feel like, as a former employee of GameStop Enterprises, you're just making more work for the people that don't want to be. Like, these guys don't want to deal with this bullshit. Like, let's
Well,
be
maybe-
real.
Maybe they're hoping there'll be some good things that could be donated to charity this close to Christmas. Who knows?
No. Like, you know what? See, that would be a play that I think could work. If you go, hey, we're doing, in collaboration with
Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots, bring in a gift, right? We will donate that gift for needy kids and things, and you get a $5, game card. Like, that at least to me shows, I don't know, that just feels different, right? Than like, bring in your shit and we're gonna donate it to like imagine you're the local charity and they're like, oh my god, here's the stuff we got donated, and it's just like a dirty old boot, a single Tic Tac, a sandwich somebody made, like this is. I don't think this is gonna go the way
Why do
they
we have-
think it's gonna go.
Why do we have a framed picture of two veterans?
It's just
in
snuggling.
lingerie?
I don't think this is gonna go the way they think it's gonna go, and I'm curious. I want to keep my eyes open on this one. And there's a couple of GameStops near me. I might even just, for content purposes, go and just like film people. What are people bringing in to trade in? Because that's just But anyway.
Maybe one of us can go to a GameStop on that day and go live and just hit up people. What'd you bring in?
Dude, that's actually not a bad idea to like just film people as they're coming in and out. Like, hey, what are you taking in there? Do you think they'll accept it? Kind of thing. And then capturing them on the way out as they're taking their trash out with them. Yeah. All right. Anyway, the other big news, obviously, this kind of broke last week, but I just wanted to kind of circle back on it because at the time we did the last episode, I hadn't really read up on it. And it's the Steam machine and Steam coming out with their own console, their own controller, and their own headset. 3 separate devices that they announced. The Steam Box, yes, Christopher, the Steam Box. It is like, as a person who is, I'm a console gamer first and foremost. Always have been, always will be. But I do like my PC gaming from time to time. I do like, I have a VR headset. I have my, Nintendo Switch handheld, which I just got the Xbox handheld. This like if I'm Xbox or PlayStation, this makes me nervous. This makes me
Yeah.
nervous because this is kind of what we talked about this where like this is what Xbox was kind of leaning towards when they released their handheld, which is it's the ability to play Xbox games, it's the ability to play your Steam games, which also includes all those Sony exclusives that are on PC. Now you can play it on an Xbox handheld. And I was like, oh my God, genius, genius. And now Steam went, okay, you got that. Here is what essentially is a console, a mini PC slash console. This is meant for you to plug and play on your desktop screen, on your TV screen. You can stream it, but it's a console. Like it's hard to wrap my brain because it's a console, but it's a PC. It's a PC console.
Was
And
it
go
kind
ahead.
of like what Xbox was announced recently too, right? Where it's kind of a mix between a console and a PC, essentially.
Exactly. Exactly. The difference being Xbox is they're going hard on this. They're like, it's our next generation. It's
Right.
gonna be future proof. Analysts are saying it's gonna be over $1,200, which is astronomical for a gaming
For a
console.
con
For
for
a
a gaming
console.
console,
Yes.
but for a gaming PC, it's right in the
I mean, I was
down
saying
the.
it would be a mid tier gaming PC at
Mhm.
that, or a high end laptop. No, even mid tier laptop. So this Steam console early projections, because we haven't had a price released, are somewhere in the 400 to 600 range. So it isn't gonna be next gen, but it is gonna be what would be considered like top tier today, right? You're gonna be
Right.
able to do 4K. You're gonna have, I think it was 120 hertz rate, and so like it clears benchmarks today's standards, which again for $400 to $600, and you have the ability to play Xbox games, PC games, PlayStation games, all, and it's literally this big, and you can just like I'm gonna take my system to go, throw it in a lunchbox, and it's good. Like you've seen the PlayStation's just a giant. It's the Tower of Sauron, right? It's
Right.
this huge thing, and the Xbox Series X, which I have, is no slouch. It's a huge brick. It's like a mini fridge. So to be able to pack all that power in that small a body at a reasonable price point, I mean, Steam is, oh man, they are in the game and big time. And big time. This is, we've always talked about the console war. This might be a whole new caveat to it. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm curious if it does well, like if it takes off, what that's gonna mean for the games that are on consoles or like Sony. I mean, don't like Microsoft and Sony have games in Steam already?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
So are they gonna like kind of do like Disney did with Netflix and
Pulled
say,
back their
we can't,
exclusives.
we can't have this, and we can't have this, we can't have Halo being played on the Steam machine. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
So I was curious about that as well. When the stuff gets listed, there all this stuff is like contractually, especially when you're talking about like something like a Sony exclusive. They're like, oh, this is exclusive to PlayStation. They have contracts where they say you're gonna get it'll be listed on your site for X amount of time. Nothing's indefinite.
right,
But just like with Netflix, a perfect example with Disney and Netflix, like, hey, this is gonna be on your site for X amount of time, at which point we can have it removed. I could see a scenario where Sony goes, "Uh-oh, we got to pull our exclusives back," right? We've already snuck. They've already been snuck onto Xbox because we got the PC and the Xbox handheld. This could be a tipping point that Sony goes, "Uh-oh, we need to pull back in house." But I think that would be a very bad look for
oh
Sony,
yeah,
and I think that would lose them a lot of favor, in the PC market, in
oh
the
yeah.
console market, because it's like, wow, just because you have Spider-Man, you have Last of Us, you have God of War, I now have to spend $800-900 just so I can play those three games. You know, when Xbox is like, fuck it, put my games on PlayStation, put them on Nintendo, put them on the web, emulate them. We don't care. Like, as long as you're playing the games, we don't care. So I don't know. I don't know. I think Sony, in order to stay relevant, is gonna have to eat crow on this and let PC gamers and handhelders and the Steam Deck kind of, or Steam Machine. No, God, it's not called the Steam Machine. The Steam, the frame is the headset. It's not the Steam Machine. Yes.
It is Steam Machine.
I had this thing where I kept calling it the Steam Engine, which I think is a better name. The Steam Engine.
Steam Machine sounds like a corny football name from a sports movie,
or like an '80s wrestler. Here comes the Steam Machine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Steam Engine sounds a lot better in my.
I think Anyway,
and you can actually install other operating systems on it too.
Yep.
So
that's a whole nother level to it. That it's infinite. Well, I wouldn't say infinitely, but it is highly customizable. Different face plates. They have the LED bar in there. It has every port you can imagine, from USB, USB-C, the Gigaport, the 2.1 HDMI's. So it's got everything you need to be top tier today. I won't say it's not really future proof, because it's putting past the benchmark of today. When USB 2.5 comes out, or HDMI 2.2, it's going to be basically outdated.
I think I just kind of see it as them dipping their toe in the water to see what kind of response they get. And of course, the nerd in me is kind of trying to figure out what the base, there's got to be a base operating. Oh, Steam OS 3 Arch base, which is what, Linux?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, Linux, Arch. Yeah, it is Linux. It's a type Linux framework. So of course, I should have. I don't even know why I'm asking this.
Let's see. Half-Life. So Insomniac says Half-Life 3 confirmed. I haven't seen that. I have not seen Half-Life 3 confirmed. I would love Half-Life 3 to be confirmed, because I love Half-Life. 20 years ago when I played it. They're way overdue for a sequel. Let's see.
You got somebody in the comments saying you can run OBS on the Steam box without all the extra BS, from what he understands.
The Steam box. Which one are you talking about? Which Steam box?
I don't know. I'm assuming he's talking about the Steam Machine.
Interesting. Would you be able to run OBS? I mean, yeah, if it has an internet, OS, OBS is free software. I mean, you just go on there and download it. I don't see why it wouldn't work. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Would you want to run OBS on a console though? Okay. Let me hold on. I'm imagining I'm doing this.
It could be a benefit for Twitch streamers. Yeah, great for streaming with enough horsepower to take on the most demanding games. Steam Machine is the perfect host PC for streaming to other devices. Easily stream to your Stream Deck, Stream Frame. Oh wait, that's Stream Link, Steam Link.
Yeah, that's because it's streaming from the console to the headset and back and forth, whatnot. No, I guess you could, and I'm imagining you could probably set up like a Stream Deck, the Elgato Stream Deck with all the buttons. You could probably set that up so that way you're controlling go live, mute, different scenes, things like that, alerts and whatnot. Because that would be my whole thing. Is it's great to run it on there, but how do you interact with the interface? Because doing it from a controller is going to be very difficult. But if you had everything pre-programmed, kind of like I do here, and just had the buttons you can press, I mean, I guess you could, and it makes sense.
Well, if I don't have to worry about Windows running an update in the middle of a stream, I mean, that'll be perfect.
Well, first of all, that is a you error, because as the administrator, you have to set do not download updates, in these critical hours. That was, bro, man, year one. Oh, that was a problem that bugged me a lot. I'd be in the middle of a show and it's like, boop, boom, update required. And you're like, what? No.
It's like Space Force with John Malkovich. Fuck Microsoft, fuck.
Exactly. Exactly. What else? You saw Running Man this weekend, right? What'd you think?
I liked it. Um, I I think I read part of the book back in high school. And of course, I've seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger version, a couple times growing up. And then Glenn Powell, that's his name, right? Glenn
Yep, Glenn
Powell.
Powell.
I think he's like one good, like specific, like blockbuster movie away from being into the Tom Cruise sphere. Like he's already A-list, but I think he's one role away
Mm.
from solidifying himself as being one of the top actors right now.
I mean, he's been in pretty much every big thing in the last couple of years. Because what he was in Top Gun. Speaking of Tom Cruise,
Mm-hmm.
he was in Twisters.
Yeah.
What's the other one he was just in? That was a huge.
He did
Christ,
that Sydney Sweeney rom com a couple of years back too, right?
I
On
believe
Netflix.
so. God, why am I drawing a blank now all of a sudden?
Well, I'm
Anyone
at a
But
point
You
now.
is the comedy, Hitman, Maverick, Spy Kids 3D. Yeah, that was
You know,
long time ago. He was he was in Spy Kids. Um, but yeah, no. He just did the Chad Powers. That's what I was thinking of. The Chad
right.
Powers, the comedy one. He was in Hidden Figures. Like he's been in some really big stuff. Uh, eh,
And he's done voice work too.
he does.
So
He's
like
done
Rick and
voice work.
Morty, Family Guy, from Jurassic World, stuff like that. Robot Chicken. So I listened to him recently on the Rewatchables podcast with Bill Simmons, and he actually comes off as like a down to earth, like movie phobe, cinephobe.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes me like him a little bit more, and not as a
Cinephobe
creeper.
or cinephile? Because we
File
don't.
phobe, whatever. Oh
If
yeah,
it's a
one of the two.
cinephobe, then he's afraid of movies, and he's in the
Cinephile. I
wrong
don't know.
profession. But a cinephile, he's
Cinephile. That's what I
he
meant.
likes to have sex with movies. That's that's a cinephile. No,
Release the cinephile list.
he's yes, the cinephile list. He does seem like a very humble guy. I've watched a few interviews of his, and I love the fact that he's in college. He's currently in college taking classes at the University of Texas, I believe. He's a Longhorn. Go Longhorns! Which I think is so cool. And he was doing an interview, and his co-stars are like, "Wait, what? Like you're one of the busiest guys we know?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, I'm doing three courses a semester or something like that." I'm like, how do you
Just,
have the
just in case
time?
this movie thing doesn't work out.
Gotta have that fallback. Gotta have that fallback degree, because in case this whole leading man AAA title, a Hollywood guy doesn't work out, then I gotta fall back on my business degree or something.
But yeah, the Running Man. I paid a little bit extra, went for the IMAX, and and because I like the work that Edgar Wright does already, in the past, and I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie, really well paced. Like there was a few slower parts, but it was well paced for me. The ending, not like I think they could have worked on the ending a little bit better, but
Yeah,
on the IMDb, I think the score is pretty good where it's at currently, which is 6.7 on IMDb. I would have given it about a 7
yeah,
from me.
yeah,
But and then you know uh of course, and like I think Edgar Wright actually stayed to more of like the book material.
yeah.
Like there's I won't I don't know if I should say it in here, but like they stayed true to this serial that was in the book
Hmm.
that's called Fun Twinks.
Yes.
And I'm like, in 1972 was Fun Twinks, like was Twinks the same connotation it is now?
Yeah, I think the
You know,
lexicon has changed just a bit.
so
Um, I don't think that's what they were referring to at the time, but it is an interesting
definitely
choice.
aged. That part's definitely aged
Aged
well.
poorly.
So Edgar
Uh,
Wright's probably like going through the book, like, oh, this is gonna be so good for for commercials in the
I
movie.
love that they put Arnold on the money.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was
yeah.
such like for a film that's saying like, look, we have nothing to do with that other one. This is completely different. but it's nice to have like, all right, let's have this little wink wink to the audience. Yes, there's
Like a
another
soft
movie,
cameo.
yeah, like a little layup of and I'm like, that's all you need. That's all you need. It's just a little wink wink, nudge nudge. Yes, we acknowledge there was another movie. Moving on. So I think that's really that was really well done. I thought the action, like you said, was well paced. It definitely, I anticipated going into it that he was going to be a little bit more of the aggressor, like it was because in the Arnold movie that's kind of how it was.
Mhm.
Obviously, the character was much more. Um, I mean, what's the best way to put this? He was surviving, right? Like that's what he was
Mhm.
trying to do, but it felt like luck played a lot into it, right? Which
Yeah.
I'm torn about that because you want a movie where it's believable, and I felt like for the most part it was in the believable range, but there's certain instances where you're like, oh come on, of course, right at that exact moment, that one thing that happened that could have possibly
Right.
staved disaster. It's a little like you have to suspend disbelief a little bit. Um, eh, but on the other hand, if he was this special ops mercenary that just kung fu chopped his way through, and then you'd be like, oh my god, how easy is that? Like like Wolverine, right? Like, oh yeah, of course it's easy to be the best when you don't
Yeah.
die, when you're literally can't die, you heal and your bones are indestructible. Like, can you have it any easier? Or it's like Superman, right? Like, oh no, Superman, perfect, you're
Well,
indestructible.
Glenn Powell's character didn't really have any kind of military background, if I remember correctly. So
Right.
I would have done a little bit more of like the nobody type fighting where he's getting. I mean, he does get beat up pretty well in the movie here and there,
Sure.
but like, there's a
Yeah.
few points where I'm like, when did he learn how to fight like that? Like,
Yeah.
or how to shoot or something like that.
Yeah. They gave him like the PTSD of a veteran without any of like the veteran backstory. Like
Yeah.
he's always angry, always ready to fight somebody. And it's like, dude, why? Like, why are you so angry? But that was like his thing. I don't need nobody. And then the whole point of the movie is like so many people help him along the way kind of thing. And so, but I enjoyed it. I think it's one of those movies that it's like, hey, we're just going to sit here and have some laughs and have a good time and enjoy. Like, you don't watch John Wick for, the commentary on the political socioeconomics of the world. Like, no, you want to see some dude whoop some ass, shoot some guns, blow some shit up, and have a good time. So that's why I
And
love
this
Marvel
one,
movies.
right? And this one had all that, and with a little bit more comedy than
Yeah,
some of the other ones.
yeah.
The only thing I would have taken, I would have, if I was Edgar Wright, I would have kind of borrowed from the original Running Man, where, crap, I can't remember the guy's, the the host or the network
Hmm.
personnel who's the bad guy in the original Running Man movie was an actual like favorite, like fan favorite game show host.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
felt like that would have been great to carry over to the new movie with somebody like Wayne Brady, somebody who's very lovable. Like it would have been like a repeat from like Chappelle Show when Wayne Brady has that
Yeah.
episode where he's
I'm
in
Wayne
like
Brady,
a
bitch.
psycho, like
No, yeah, God, but man, it would be awesome if Bob Barker was alive. They get Bob Barker to be like,
oh,
like, come on down, you're the next contestant on the Running Man. Um, but yeah, no,
evil Drew Carey.
evil Drew Carey. No, it's been it was good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I think it goes into the stable of like, is it something like, oh, I got to break this out and watch it as many times as I can? Probably not,
Right.
but it's definitely something that's like, hey, when you need something to just chill and have a good time and an interesting story, I think it gives you a little more like I do akin it to like the John Wick, whereas John Wick focuses more on the action and more on the choreography than the story. This I think leans more to the story than the actual violence or things like that. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of heart. There's a lot of character growth and change. So and Edgar Wright's a phenomenal writer and director.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think I think
I
he did
didn't
good.
walk. I didn't walk out of there feeling like, man, I screwed up. I should have just waited until streaming. Like I enjoyed myself
Yeah.
in the theater. So, and
Yeah.
then the other people in the theater, I could hear them laughing as well at a few spots.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. One more quick thing before we toss it to our break. Call of Duty 7 launched, Black Ops 7. And to I think no one's surprised at this point. Like we've jumped the shark, right? The Call of Duty franchise has jumped the shark. It's I mean, I think they said like peak was like 67,000 users online, which seems like a lot, but in its heyday, we were talking millions of people were playing.
yeah.
So for a launch day to hit a peak of 67,000, that's not good. I think Battlefield 6, which just came out, what, a month ago, 2 months ago, had like I think they said they averaged like 345,000 players, something like that. So that's not good. That's bad.
I think
And
there was more kids outside than that.
probably. It Microsoft bought the companies that they did so that they could own Call of Duty. And I definitely think this is a case of they bought high, right? They bought when the value was at its peak. And this is like,
Didn't sell it
buying
at
a
the right time.
yeah, they bought a warehouse full of Beanie Babies on the when it burst. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna be left holding the bag. I forget what $8 billion or whatever it is they spent for all these licenses and franchises, and I don't think they're gonna get a return. The small silver lining, if you want to call it that, is like as an Xbox player with a Game Pass subscription, like I play it for free. So I didn't have to buy it.
Oh, nice.
But at the same time, it's like that I think makes it worse because you look at the game through a different lens. Like when you're like, oh man, I paid $60 for this. Like there's a lot of pressure to like, I gotta play it. I invested money into this. I have to, you know what I mean? I have to recoup my money, my worth. But when I'm like, oh, look, it's available, download, and then you play, you go, oh my God, this is terrible. Delete. Like,
so glad I didn't pay for this.
yeah, and so I'm a bit torn about it, right? Because Microsoft paid a lot of money for all those properties. And I'd be shocked. You already know they have the next Call of Duty probably in development already. But at what point do you stop and go, all right, we're losing a lot on this. We're losing a lot and we have to stop.
Do you think any of it could be because of the fact that they fired so many game people in recent years, and now they're trying to rely on AI?
I mean,
I have to go down. I have to go down that rabbit hole and think that AI is probably ruining something else.
You have
You
a
know
thing
how-
for AI, man. You have a
I just-
you.
No arguments, man. It's ruining. It's the brain rot of the world right now.
Agreed.
So-
Agreed. I think that we can end on because the AI debate's going to be that's a whole thing. I think there are great use cases for AI, but much like the internet in general, I think the strength of it is what you use it for, right? If you're, when the internet was created, it was a military project and it was so that people could share, tactical information across long distances instantaneously instead of like mail. And now people watch TikToks on it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think it's great for replacing some human busy tasks for sure. But for the creative side, it is crapping on anything that was like it's crapping on the human creativity side, in my opinion. Yeah.
It's terrible when I go to conventions and you can see people selling art that is clearly AI generated
Don't get me
or
started.
computer generated, let's say, maybe not AI, but it was definitely computer based modeling and things like that. And it's like, yeah, you do, like, what does that mean for comic books? Like, what happens when people stop being artists? Like, are comic books just going to be all, AI clip art of characters?
Oh, I pissed off a fan page this week where they were using AI. They're selling stickers and T-shirts of King of the Hill, and I said in the comments, I was like, "Why are you using AI to rip off a fan favorite show?" And they actually put my face on the old farmer meme. It's like it's honest work, and put a speech bubble in there and said it's AI, and then put my I'm like, hey, I go, at least you didn't use AI for this. This is crappy Photoshop. I respect this more than you trying to sell crap AI slop stickers of King of the Hill.
Yeah. Yep. DARPANet has been relegated to TikTok dances. Yes, you're right. You're right. That's good, Tom. I like that. Insomniac says, so apparently the prestige icons and some of the title cards are AI in the new Call of Duty. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised because it's things like that where they go, I could pay a guy to do this tiny little icon, or I could save a little money. And like these corporations, these businesses, that's all it is. At the end of the day, it's about money. And
Oh, yeah.
absolutely, they're going to trade out people for technology whenever they can. Like that's, and it's sad. And we had good friends of ours who were actors and writers and directors and all that. When the strikes were happening, we were right there beside them, supporting them because, there should be protections against AI taking voice actor jobs, AI taking creative jobs, whether it's writers, editors, whatever, sound designers, right? Like AI me some moody, spooky music, and boom, there goes that job,
Well, and I saw recently who was it, Matthew McConaughey and another actor who said that they were giving their voice up for some AI engine somewhere. And I had to make the meme where it was like, struggling voice actors looking at this story, and it says "F me," right? So it's like you can't let these,
Yeah. There
you
was a
can't let
whole
these
Black
up-and-coming.
Mirror episode about this, where they took where it was like almost the inception of like where the one actress was portrayed by another actress, but she gave her AI rights to the thing, and that show inceptioned itself into another show, by another famous actress, and it was like this whole thing, and it was about AI replacing us in movies and TV and these things. But anyway, we can go into this. I got to take a short break. I got to bring our guest because you guys don't want to hear me talk anymore. We want to hear her talk now. So, guys, stay tuned. When we come back from a very short break, we have the amazing Heather, paramedic herself from the Metal Gear series, is going to be joining us and talking about all of her works and career. And she's delightful, and you're going to love this. And I think I've done it. Have I kissed your ass enough? No. I got a thumbs
She's already
up.
a nice lady. You don't need to suck up to it too much.
Get more, bring it. All right, guys, we're going to toss it to a short break. We'll be right back with more right after this. Say goodbye, K-Mill.
Bye bye.
Jeez. God bless it. We'll be right back.
I dropped. I forgot.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, alright? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, what do you think because the show is going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
In the shadows of the city bright, where heroes rise and take the fight, there's a voice that breaks the night. It's CQ at the insight. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends and those crazy scenes, pop culture trends and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends and those crazy scenes, pop culture trends and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light, with CQ leading the charts so bright. We're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light, with CQ leading the charts so bright. We're ready for another flight. Marvel at the twists and turns, villains playing, heroes learn. Every episode we'll discern lessons from the past to learn. Games we play and books we read, CQ's list of what we need. Memories that make us bleed, together we will take the lead. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light, with CQ leading the charts so bright. We're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light, with CQ leading the charts so bright. We're ready for another flight. Culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light, with CQ leading the charts so bright. We're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light, with CQ leading the charts so bright. We're ready for another flight.
Hi there. You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. This is the way.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Ah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. You stay tuned. You're here. You know what it's for. Guys, tonight's guest is someone Metal Gear fans know all too well, the brilliant voice behind Paramedic, the woman who somehow kept Snake alive and educated him on classic cinema at the same time. She's an award-winning voice actor, a storyteller with range for days, and a performer whose characters stick with you long after the credits roll. From espionage ops to epic fantasy worlds, she's brought heart, humor, and absolute professionalism to every booth she's stepped into. I cannot wait for you guys to meet this incredible woman. Please give the biggest, warmest welcome to our guest tonight, the incredible Miss Heather Halley. Like,
Thank you so much, CQ. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry.
yes, did it, nailed it. You are wonderful. Okay. I've
Ah,
got to say this. I've got to say this first up right away.
yes.
You are the first person in 6+ years of us doing this. The folks at home don't realize you joined before I even started the show.
I
We have
love it.
we've been talking since before I went live at 8 p.m. Eastern. You have been sitting, watching, listening. No one has ever done that before.
I don't know why. I have no idea why they haven't, because it was wonderful. It was wonderful to see what you guys do, and I'm so honored to to be here with you guys, and I'm so glad because we really didn't get a chance to talk that much
I know.
at the MGS Con.
Yes, you were a busy lady.
Oh,
Every time I tried to find a window, I go over
really?
there. Either you had this long line, or you were off doing photos, or speaking at a thing, or doing this thing, or out to. I was like, I can't get a hold of this lady.
I wish you had. It was that was just pure magic. That was
Yeah.
just pure magic. But now I have you all to myself.
Ooh, I'm blushing. Oh
So
goodness, I'm gonna
there
clean
you
up
go.
myself first.
Yeah.
Uh, so okay, so first and foremost, we gotta ask you the same two questions we ask everybody on this
Yeah.
show. What is your military connection?
Oh wow. That's a pretty deep one. My military, my family connection with the military runs very, very deep. My dad was in the Air Force during the Korean War, and my beautiful cousin Mike was unfortunately killed in action on March 29th, 1969, in South Vietnam. He was in the Vietnam War. He uh, received the Purple Heart. He received 2 Bronze Stars for valor, for the heroics uh, you know, in horrible actions. And so my great aunt Dottie was in World War II.
Wow.
That's how she met my great uncle, my uncle Doc, who was a doctor in World War II. So both of them met in World War II, and both my great uncle Bill, my great uncle Ted, both served in World War II as well. So it's been a very big part of my life.
That's incredible. Well, we thank them all for their service. That's
Yes, thank
the greatest generation, the World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. I mean, being an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran myself, like those are the
thank you for
guys
your service. Yeah,
of course. But those are the guys we looked up to, right? And the guys that
right,
we revered as some of the greatest men to ever walk this planet. So we thank them.
absolutely. Yes, and I actually that was always instilled in us because it was about you know it just any type of conflict is horrible, but to go into that situation because you believed in something meant, you know something to them, our freedoms, and our you know wonderful way of life of being able to be free.
Yeah.
I actually, after 9/11, I went in to enlist in the Army after 9/11. And they told me, well, they're like, they didn't say honey, but it was like, you're too old. So I was like, okay. I'm like, sure, because I can file, I can type, I can do whatever you need me to do. Tourniquet, I'm there. And they were like, so after that, I got involved with the wonderful Gary Sinise. I was so fortunate to work with him. I know. And let me tell you, he is all that and more. He is such a spectacular human being. He's just a good man. His family's wonderful. It's no BS. They're just what you see is what you get.
Yes.
And it's really have you I don't know if you've met Gary or not, but
I've had the lovely, I've done a lot of charity work in my time, and we've crossed paths a few times. He is one of the most incredible people, and yeah, it's like you said, the stuff that he does that people know about,
right.
it's nothing compared to the massive, enormous amount of stuff that he does for no recognition other than
Right.
it's right.
It's right. That's exactly right. It's not a selfie. It's not, hey, this is me doing this for this soldier that, an amputee, whatever that is.
Hmm.
It's because it's right. It's
Yep.
it's taking care of those that are here you know, because we're able to enjoy all of the things that we are in this beautiful country, and it is because of people like yourself that we are. I since have joined the VFW Auxiliary
Nice.
post 9983, and that's been incredible to be able to sit with veterans and hear their stories and talk about my family and just listening to you know just their love and their passion and what they went through. These aren't people that have big bank accounts. These aren't Hollywood people. These are real, genuine people that they, as you said, did because they thought it was the right thing to do. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
so
we appreciate your support. All the fine folks, women, men and women at home watching right now. We
absolutely. Even
we always appreciate
even
it.
our four-legged, our dogs, and
Absolutely.
know,
Yes.
all of them. Thank you,
Absolutely.
because we would
Absolutely.
not be here. I wouldn't be able to have my opinions or anything. I wouldn't be able to have anything.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
which is
that's so
it's
nice.
disheartening sometimes because I get a little frustrated because it's like I think people think, if you support the military, then you must hate everything, or you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah. It's one
people,
side or the other. Yeah.
yeah,
There's
and it's not that at all.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
we
working.
definitely we don't get political here, but I think, and we've said this before, that there are a lot of far right, there are a lot of far left. I think the majority of people are kind of in the middle, and and just want, like, can we just all get along? Can we just leave each other in peace and just live our
Yeah,
lives?
and
Uh,
support those that are risking their lives for
absolutely,
us. People
absolutely.
don't realize what's going on. And I had this is another thing, and I I studied dance with Patrick Swayze's mom back in the day, and her youngest son Sean, who's a very dear friend of mine, was in the Marine Corps, and his son Jesse then went into Patsy's grandson, then went into the Marine Corps. And I remember he was in Afghanistan and we ended up speaking to one another. And he said, Heather, playing Metal Gear has kept me sane. It has diverted me. So a lot of people don't realize that
Yeah.
that people are in very dangerous areas out there, and they need this.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, my time is in more recent time. It's a little different, but like when I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, this is 2003, 2005.
Right.
There wasn't it wasn't as cushy as it is now. I guess is the best way to say it. But
My dad
like,
always used to say that. He'd go, "Not as-"
It's not. It's not. But we had like. But I remember. I wish we had video games. We didn't. But we had like Family Guy on DVD, and like it was
Sure,
those
sure.
little things that you could cling to, and like just a little bit of home, and
Laugh or
it it
yes.
was it was so vital and so important to not go crazy
Yeah,
when you're gone for years at a time for some.
yes,
Um,
absolutely.
yes,
Yeah.
but we're here to talk about you. Ah,
Yeah.
you got me going
Oh,
down memory
well,
lane. Uh,
I I think you're more important, but that's okay. Yes. Yeah.
um, let me ask you the second question, which
Yes.
is what is it that you geek out about, right? When we talk about pop culture, it really could be anything, right? If it's a love of motorcycles, if it's
I do
anything's
like
pop culture, but
motorcycles.
what do you
Yeah.
geek out about?
Oh my gosh. Animals. I'm a huge we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm a huge animal person. I pretty much for the most part a lot of times like animals better than I like people. Um I just my mom growing up, my mom studied entomology. So I grew up with a pet tarantula, Cleopatra. I had a pet tarantula, I had a pet king snake when I was a little girl. And I remember getting sent home from school because I would put Snakey in my, I'm wearing a sweatshirt here, my Pink Panther sweatshirt, I'd have him in there and I'd keep him with me because he loved the warmth. And then, recess would come about and all the girls would scream, and that didn't go over well. So I love bugs. I love Madagascar roaches. I love, I'm fascinated. I love all that stuff. Animals have my heart. Rescues, just, people doing wonderful things. And so I try to support specific rescues and whatnot. Um, I love I love cooking. I
Okay.
love cooking. I love cooking, and you might, people are usually like, "Are you sure you're not 85, Heather?" But I do. I love cooking. I love gardening. I love my roses. I love my African violets, because they're hard to grow. I love antiques. I love classic films. I love antiques, like you were talking about motorcycles.
Yeah.
Give me a good, old Indian motorcycle bike, and I would go
Nice.
crazy. My brother had a, you know, a 42 panhead, that, he at the weekends, the big thing is if he was going to get the bike started or not. So it was like that, blah, 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 and then when we'd hear it go, it was like, all right, you
Now the
know,
weekend can start.
yeah,
Yeah.
start. My mom and I would be in the kitchen and he'd be trying to get it started. So, yeah, obviously I love classic movies. Uh, when I first found out about Paramedic and I read the script, or was reading the script and going through it, I was just it was me. I love classic films. I love classic horror movies. I love animals and the flora and the fauna so it was so awesome to have that Mary. She talks a lot. I talk, I get really excited and passionate about things. And I love old radio shows. I love to learn new things. I'm actually taking a Brazilian jiu-jitsu class this Friday, a woman's Brazilian
BJJ.
class. So I'm gonna learn how to grapple. I'm gonna do some grappling. Um, and one of my biggest things is going to the range at the VFW. It's there's something very respectful and very grounding, and again, it's a huge respect thing for me.
Hmm.
So I can go there, I can be on the range, I can sit with veterans, and I can, hear their stories, and I can get tips from them. I've been staying up late at night watching, I don't know, have you ever heard of Lena Michalik?
Lena Mitchell. I don't believe
Jerry
so.
Michalik she's an American competitor. So I'll literally watch. she might be doing handguns or whatever. My husband's like, oh my gosh, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're watching the women's championship of, you get the beep.
Yeah.
So it's just, and it's that feeling of, you know, being grounded, being comfortable in your own skin, feeling safe. My dear friend and mentor has really kind of been the one that pushed me to try to get back into martial arts. And it's a very empowering,
Yeah.
it's a very empowering thing.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. That's incredible.
it does teach you, like I said, a lot of respect, and it's extremely grounding. It's very peaceful for me because I do chit chat. I do tend to get excited, and you can't. You
You have
have
to
to.
focus.
You have to focus. You have to listen,
Yeah.
even if it's a loud listening. You have to just. It is. It's like scuba diving.
Nah, I'm a scuba diver, so you were
Are you a
speaking my
scuba diver?
language. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
because when you're down there, I mean, you can live or you can die. You're
Hmm.
respecting this whole new world,
You have to
you know,
be on point at all times.
all times, because you don't know what could happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to
And
be
yeah,
alert, aware, know your location, your breathing, your
yep.
air supply, all these different things. And
Mathematics, you have to be with people that you trust,
yep.
that respect it as well, that aren't going to be,
Hmm.
yeah,
Goofing off and doing things. No, you're
you're
absolutely right.
surrounded. Yeah. So yeah,
Absolutely
it's
right.
important. So I love, I geek out about that stuff. Yes, I do.
I love
I
it.
love, I love me some cooking.
Which actually someone in the chat even wrote, "Oh my God, we need a paramedic cookbook right now."
Yes!
So, so
Are
there
you
you go.
serious? Okay. All right. I'll be working on it.
She's
I'll
gonna
look
start working
for
on
it.
it.
I'll do like a vegetarian one, and then I'll do, snakes,
Yeah.
with the glow caps, the glowing the Russian glow caps and stuff like that. I'm on it.
There you go. There you go. You already got customers lined up. They're ready for it.
I love it.
Um, so before we dive into Metal Gear, because obviously that's, I mean,
Yes.
incredible.
Oh,
I want to get an idea of, take us back for a second. How, like, when did you first find this passion for acting and voice acting, or just being on stage? I know a lot of people, starts at a young age. Were you out the womb and into acting, or did it come kind of later? Give us the breakdown.
I started acting at a very young age. My my mom said I was doing commercials. Soap, Ivory Soap. I don't know if people remember Ivory Soap, but
We
it's
know
actually
Ivory.
Ivory Soap. um, Ivory Soap commercials in the bathtub, or I grew up dancing. I was a really busy kid, and God bless my parents. They were trying to find outlets for me, but at the same time, you want to be, putting your child in the right place and with the right people. So I did drill team, and it's kind of funny because when I was in high school, I uh I did cheerleading. But it's funny because most of my friends were not the popular kids. It was, you might have the people over here that's like the smokers, or you know what I mean? I
Right.
wasn't in the popular quad. I had a lot of deaf friends, or, you know, we were the misfits. So I really kind of didn't, but I loved dancing. I loved performing. And at that time, I was studying dance with Patsy Swayze, with
Mhm.
Patrick's mom. So, and before then, so I grew up in the dance studio, and she would have been the best drill sergeant in all the best ways, because it was just good old fashioned. We couldn't wear jewelry, you couldn't have makeup on, everybody wore the same uniform, because there were kids, some of these kids didn't, they didn't have a lot of money, or they didn't have shoes, so we would have like a donation pile. So I grew up in the dance studio. Patrick, or Buddy, as we called him, was kind of a big brother And again, another one that's like Gary, salt of the earth, such a lovely human being, and so gracious and such a hard worker. So I grew up doing that. I did tons of theater. That was my love. I danced professionally about 10 years. I traveled with Patsy a little bit, mostly to Houston, her home state. And there were times when Buddy was there too. So we'd all get, we would all get together, and those were wonderful memories. And it's funny because he was the type of person that just wanted to be home.
Mm.
And that's what me. He just wanted to be home with his dogs, with his horses. He loved doing the acting thing, but he was the least Hollywood person you could ever imagine. And Patsy, being like my mom too, you get too big for your boots and you're going to get slapped down real fast because you need to know where you came from, you know?
Absolutely.
So, and it's a respect thing. So I ended up teaching dance at the studio. We had, Patsy was she's this extraordinary human being. She was Southern, so she's from Houston, and tough as nails, but very much the lady. You would never hear her cuss. But she could take down, you get a lot of these parents coming in there like, I want my kid to Patrick Swayze, blah, 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 blah," and she would just cut them down. All you need to leave now.
Mm.
Now. None of that stuff. So it was, and I got to teach deaf students because I was learning American Sign Language at the time, and I had friends that were deaf, and we had autistic children. I taught one of the most beautiful dancers. She's blind. This child was just, if we could all be this way.
Mm.
And this was tap dancing. But Patsy would take her and taught me how to teach her, with her feet, and she would hold on to the music. Brilliant, brilliant.
Wow.
Because there just was that, it was just that we're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
just learn differently.
Yeah. All the same parts, more or less.
All the same parts. Yeah. But if there was any disrespect to other people or whatnot, it was, and that's how I grew up. That's the teachers that I was so fortunate to have. They were tough, but they were tough on you because they believed in you, and they
Mhm.
would tell you that.
Yeah. And then
Um,
where's the jump into the acting world from all the
So
dance?
from there, I did a lot of theater. I did a lot of musical theater, and then I did a lot of theater acting plays. Um, and then from there, my my jump would be to I started at not necessarily the news from that, which was on HBO. You're probably too young to remember this, but it was kind of like a oh god, Conan O'Brien wrote for
Mhm.
the show. Oh my gosh, so many Damon Wayans. I was fortunate enough to do some scenes with Damon Wayans, and so that became home for me. I was in theater companies. I was in Tim Robbins' Actors Gang Theater, so I learned a lot there. And then from there, I went into voiceover. I'd always had a love for animation, and I'd always have had a love for cartoons. My father, funny enough, w- all my family's from Kansas City, Mo.
Mm.
So, uh, mom and dad had gone to Kansas City. Dad was looking for work, and my brother was just a baby at the time, couldn't find work. And my dad grew up with Walt Disney. They all hung out,
Wow.
he's from Marshallese, but they all, my Walt Disney actually asked my great aunt out once, which is my great, my, my great grandmother Molly said, honey, he just doodles. He's not going to amount to anything. So yeah, that worked out. But,
So
I
close.
love this
So
little so
close.
close. But dad got a phone call from Walt saying, come to California and work for me.
Wow.
So that's how, so much of that magic that I grew up with and my father was just so happy, and it was just such a magical time growing up. And that was a huge part of the voiceover. Uh, was when Dad worked when Dad worked for Walt Disney,
Wow.
and that was a in the 60s. Very different time than from now. So yeah, that kind of, and I'd always been I always loved sitting with my father watching Jim Henson in the Muppets. I did get to go to New York and train with them a little bit, doing puppetry and voice. So that was also, I met some incredible people. Rick Lyons, who I worked with, who created Avenue Q. I don't know if you're familiar with
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So, just really brilliant people. So yeah, that's kind of how the journey
Wow.
came to be.
Whew.
I mean, I was just, I was very fortunate. It wasn't always easy, but I was very fortunate to get with people that believed in me, and work hard.
What a ride. What a ride. Ooh, I'm out of breath just listening.
I'm so
Like, oh,
excited.
this is amazing. No, this is great. This is the part where I'm like, you can look at someone's IMDb page, you can look at somebody's Wikipedia page,
Sure.
but until you sit there and really hear the story and the trials and the triumphs and the tribulations and the ups and the downs and the path that it got us here today, this is why I love doing this. This is my favorite thing to do. So obviously, a lot of people want to hear us talk about Metal Gear. Uh,
Yes.
do you remember, like, when you first heard about it, when it first kind of came across your desk? What were your thoughts? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Take us to that moment.
I had no idea what I was in for. I went into that audition and thinking that, because they don't always put, they might say, oh, it's the Banana Club, or, it's Guns A-Blazing, or
Right.
the Blue Project. So I went into it, I auditioned, and Chris Zimmerman, who is directing, and I know you've had on your show, um, I did the audition, and she's like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay." So I start walking out of the studio thinking, "Ah," you know. And then she said, "Heather, I want you to come back and read for this other part." And I heard that Christopher Randolph had this situation too. So
Mhm.
again, I had no idea. So I read for paramedic, which I didn't know was paramedic at the time, and I thought, okay, you never know. You never know. You could go in thinking you did a great job, crickets. And then and then you could think, "Oh my gosh, I just totally." That's why you have to mentally just um as hard as it is, just to forget about it, or just, to learn how to believe in yourself enough to go, this is completely out of my control.
Right.
The only control I have is to go in and do my best.
Right.
So I got in my car, and I remember thinking, ugh, I should have done it this way, I should have done it this way. Couple weeks pass, I get a call that I booked the job. Still had no idea. Still had no idea. And this was my really first video, game. So I hadn't done the research that I should have done going into it. I remember getting the script delivered to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like it was massive. And I thought, wow, okay. I thought it was just going to be 2 or 3 lines.
Mm.
So I get in there, and I am like, oh my Lord, what is it? Nucleic acid, you know, and so I'm sitting there. I meet David, and then Jim Piddock, who plays the major brilliantly. I didn't know either of them. And I go up to David, and I said, "Hi, I'm Heather," because we were at the same agent at the time. I said, "Hi, my name's Heather Halley," and he was lovely, and he's like, "I'm David Hayter." I'm like, "Great, this is so cool." And meet Jim. And I go, "David," I said, "So what do you do? Have you done, because I don't like that whole, when actors are like, so what have you done?"
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, geez, this is my first time." And he's like, "Well, I said, "What do you do?" He's like, "Well, I do this." And I go, "Oh, you do Snake. Okay. I was really like, good for you. Like, and I said this at the panel at MGS Con. I was like, good for you. Don't give it up. Don't give that hope up. You're gonna make it one of these days, kid. And then I said, what else do you do? And he's like, oh, well, I write. And I go, I'm like, good for you. Maybe you'll write something great someday.
Yeah.
And I said, what have you written? He's like, oh, X-Men, but I'm like, oh my God. So from then on, it's like, I'm going to go key your car, hater. But no, he was so lovely and so humble. Both of them were.
Yeah.
And I got to work, it was David in the middle, me here. Sometimes I was in the middle. It just depended on the dynamic and the scenes. But it was Jim, the major, David, and myself the whole time.
That's I can't
The whole time.
I can only imagine. If I'm you in that situation, I'm probably doing the same thing. So I don't blame you
Yeah,
at all.
it was such a cool thing because David doesn't have any heirs, and Jim being this brilliant British actor, like we were talking about, I learned a great deal from him. I mean, he's just he's incredible. So there's this such a diversity.
It's so true. It's so true. Now, I gotta ask because Metal Gear fans in particularly are famously, let's say, passionate.
Passionate.
Passionate. They're very passionate about this work.
They're very passionate. I love it.
what's what's like maybe the wildest moment or reference that maybe somebody came to you and kind of threw at you and you're just like, whoa, didn't see that coming.
I don't know if I would say wildest. I probably would have to say the most beautiful was when I was at the Metal Gear convention, MGS Con, this year. I had a fan, or I had a person that came up to me for an autograph. Lovely. And he looked at me and I said, are you okay, honey? Are you? And I ended up just giving this guy a huge hug. He looked at me and he said, I have to thank you. And I said, well, you're welcome, honey. You know what? He said, I am becoming a doctor because of paramedic.
Wow.
So that had me, yeah. So I started crying. I know I'm crazy. It was such a beautiful moment because he was telling me that, through difficult times, he was able to listen to my codec.
Mm.
Excuse me. He was able to listen to my codec while he was studying, or maybe if things weren't going really well. So to have that kind of human connection was just mind blowing. So he started crying. I started crying. Because that's really what it's all about. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know why, people go fame and money and this and that, and you just don't have an idea when you make that type of connection with someone, because these characters are important.
Mm.
I know what that's like to love something so much, and how important that is, and how comforting that is. And to actually hear it from someone is just, I'm like, okay, this is why we do it. This is why we should be doing this, because you never know what someone's going through. You could have somebody with PTSD. You could have somebody that's, just whatever. Like we were talking about, being in a war zone, or maybe not being in a war zone, or being deployed, missing their family. To have that that human connection is art. That's why we should be, that's why we are doing what we do. At least that's what I truly believe. And that's,
That's beautiful.
why else?
That's I want to point out a comment from the chat from Sarcastic Snake 64 on YouTube.
Oh, he's so sarcastic. What is it, sarcastic
I think
snake?
he's referencing when we were talking about recording in the booth together. He says recording together creates a different experience than projects recorded with people separately. There's something unique and special about how actors can play off each other when together. So I would say you, as a person who's done the job, both I'm sure in a booth with others and by yourself, I'm assuming you enjoy the back and forth of the together recordings.
Sarcastic Snake is absolutely correct. Yeah, I don't think we would have had that uh, if I had been by myself. When I did Portable Ops, I was by myself, and I missed that because yeah, there's that. Yeah, you can't replicate that by yourself. At least I don't. I don't think it would have. If yeah, it's a magic. Things happen. It could be just a. It could be a laugh, or the major at times would. I could feel Jim, kind of, and I'm like, all right, I'll shut up, or my long dissertations to Snake, he was going to get it whether he liked it or not.
Right.
So yes, there's that camaraderie, and yeah, it's just there's nothing else like it. And when you have if you've got a good group of people like that, yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Beautiful. Let's go back to MGS Con because, as I understand it, that was your first ever con experience, which huge in and of itself.
Oh my god, it was amazing. It was amazing.
It's and so as someone who's well versed in the con scene and goes to cons very frequently,
Yeah, tell me
um,
about
let me tell you that uh, MGS Con is something so unique and special. Um, there are massive conventions in New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, and there's your small town. It's like a couple retailers just getting together and calling it a Comic Con. I have gone to hundreds, if not thousands, of conventions, and there's nothing quite like MGS Con. And having gone to one, to two, and to three before they're taking a much deserved break,
it.
um,
Yes.
it is it was incredible to see something built by the fans for the fans, people who are solely passionate
Oh my
about this
gosh.
world. What was that like for you to step into this reality where you're a rock star? You are legend. Like, what was that like for you?
You're very kind. I'm gonna say that. I called David Hayter before this because I didn't understand. I called David and I said, David, I said, I don't understand why somebody would want to pay to, um, and he said something that if I were to go to see someone and to be in that environment, you should be there for the experience with that person, you know to meet them and find out a little bit whatever questions they may have. So when I was with my husband, and I was nervous. I happened to, when I flew in, I happened to get on, prior to this, I happened to get on the tram, or the bus that takes you to your hotel, and there was this precious person, and we were talking. She had all this Metal Gear stuff on, and we just were talking and everything, and I said, yeah, I said, I'm really excited about it too. And then there was a pause, and she goes, don't think I don't know who you are. I do. I'm just trying not to make it such a big deal. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know me. So she was so precious about it, though. And I walked in there, and it was just, I had told my husband, I said, I think we've hit, this is it. It can't be any better than this. The people and the passion and the kindness and the warmth and just the supportiveness, people knowing that it was my first con, people just, it's hard. It's like doing a play. You instantly become family. If you're with a good group of people, you become family so fast, and then it's over with, and it's like you have these, I'm still having withdrawals. Um, Amanda and Mary, all these brilliant Stephen Duffy, all these brilliant artists, so many people that I met that I've stayed in contact with. Mary, who is one of the workers, and if she's out there. If she's out there, Mary, she's my little Boston girl. She was so funny when I first met her. She comes up to me. She's from Boston. She goes, she doesn't have a really thick Boston accent, but she's like, okay, so I make fun of you because you're from Boston, paramedics from Boston, and you don't have a boss. I'm like, girl, you better step back from parking your car, okay? Because I was an educated
That's right.
paramedic, but it just the sincerity, there
Yeah.
was just, it was the real deal.
Yeah.
I didn't. It happened so fast, and the people were just, I had people bringing me gifts from, there were, beautiful artwork. Walter, one of them, beautiful artwork that they don't even live in this country, but took the time to make sure that it got to me. People that, were bringing me calorie mates. And I had never eaten a calorie mate before. So I ate calorie mates all day, and it was, I think it was, I ended up trying to take pictures with people because, and they'd be like, why do you want your, and I go, this is,
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever have that. I pray to God that, they have their year break and that they come back. Um, but there was nothing. I was being interviewed on Streamily, and we were talking about Wounded Warriors, and we were talking about Stack Up, and we were um, talking about veterans and the military. And they said, so what do you think about today? And I'm like, I'm good. If I die, I'm good. And it was like this, that's a little morbid. And I'm like, no, really, I'm good.
Not at all.
This was this I know I'm rambling, but
No.
it just was such an incredible moment that was just carved into my heart and my soul. And people just, they just they just really, really, really touched, my heart, to wait in line and to talk to me, and to tell me things that meant so much to them, and their experiences, or when they started playing. And yeah, again,
Yeah.
that's really why we should be so fortunate to voice these beloved characters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it, I love doing this, and that's why I'll let you talk all day because
No, you have to stop
this is
me.
the
It's
best.
like paramedic. It's like
This
you're gonna be like,
I'm getting another call. Hang
I'm
on a
getting
second.
another go. Right, sing it, what it, major. Oh God, he's talking about James Bond again.
But no, your words are so true. Again, I'm jaded, having been to hundreds of conventions, but you could
Right.
see how special this was, and you could
No.
feel it. It was incredible. It was incredible to be a part of. Really amazing people, and
Yes, and the cosplayers. I gotta say this real, cosplayers and boxes. I gotta tell you this real quickly. CQ, I apologize for
go,
interrupting you because
go.
I'll forget. Um, I remember when this was all over with, and the folks that had been cosplaying, and I was up in my hotel room, and I could start them, started to sing, Cynthia, the Snake Eater song.
Snake
And
eater.
so, so I'm on my balcony, and I'm like, I'm going down there. So I just hung out. It was just everybody that was there, or cosplayers, or the artists, or the this, or the get. They were just, hanging out, and
That's
it was just that sheer. That's what I geek out about.
yeah.
That was the biggest thing. If you want to say neat, I am a total nerd, and I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it, and I love video games, and I love these people. I'm a misfit. I've always been a misfit, and you just kind of, you know,
You fit in right here. You fit in
God
right
bless
here.
you, God bless you, please.
So speaking about paramedic, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. She has these long, nerdy rants. They're beautifully delivered, by the way, but incredibly, incredibly dense. Like, I mean,
Woo!
you must treat like they're monologues, right? I mean, how do you? Is it recorded line by line? Is it like you just memorize the whole thing and just go for broke? I mean, how do you do it? How do you break all that down?
It wasn't easy. I would go home at night and I would have to I used cue cards, or I used I would do flora fauna. I would look up, what meant what scientifically. How does this go here? If snake's gonna eat these and this. What is, if he eats this or that or whatever. So I had to really, for me, understand being a scientist, a doctor, and being in the Cold War, trying to keep Snake. That was my main mission. I wasn't assigned this mission. I actually paramedic volunteered
Right.
for this mission. So that's how passionate she was about it. And she's silly and she's quirky and she's goofy and she's brilliant, and she drives Snake up a wall, which is it's so Heather, but the driving up the wall part. Um so I really had to dissect it, but I also had to personalize it. You know, it's like you have to break down a script. It's not really memorizing a monologue per se. You don't do it line by line. It's in the whole shabam. Um, you get into a flow with the character because, she's trying to keep him alive.
Mhm.
And Snake is this precious, precious person to her. So, um, and the major, I drive crazy too, but it's just her way of also trying to keep things human, you know, the humanity, because at that point in the beginning, as we know, paramedic was very moral. She's very ethically, on point, before things,
Take a
turn.
turn.
They took a little bit of a turn.
Yeah.
So it was really understanding the language and then the action, prior to that, saying that I had somebody wonderful tell me once that, if you're gonna do something, or say it's, when I do on camera work or whatever, you have something before, you have a life before, because we do that in life. I'm like this. Hey, what's up, CQ? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
pause, we do this, we pick our nose, we scratch our head. So, um, and when you're, as you, I'm sure, have been told or you've seen, when you're in a voiceover booth, we were in a huge studio, but when you're in a booth, I mean, you still have those physicalities.
Right.
Even though we were close together, you still have those things of like, okay, maybe paramedic just got some bad news, or maybe she knows that this is, so it's those things that we as characters, need to really, for me, I need to process it and take a look at it and think, what would she really be, why is she doing this? And understanding the verbiage. Because I could just say, you know, deoxynucleic, whatever. And you're like, what? But to
Yeah.
really understand what it means. And yeah, so I hope that answers your
No,
question.
no, that's perfect. It makes sense. It's not just regurgitating words, but understanding the context. What is the weight? What does it mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
what's your environment? I might still be in, my sweatshirt and my pajamas or whatever, which is another wonderful thing about voiceover, no makeup, baseball cap, but you really have to, for me, to bring these beautiful characters to life, you really have to know, where they are, what's their backstory. All that stuff fascinates me, where they came from. You might not hear that in my voice, but to me, it's like, you know, I would joke because I'd always, Snake was I'd have to say paramedic's love of her life in many ways. So there's this protection that was constantly going on in my mind of, I can't lose you, I can't lose you, I can't lose you. we can't lose you. So
Mm. I have to ask, and we're running out of time, and there's so
I'm
many
so
things I
sorry.
want to ask you.
Okay,
No,
okay,
no,
okay.
no. This is great. This is great. I'd rather hear the long answer than little short
You
blurbs.
gotta
This
cut me
is
off, CQ.
the if you could revisit paramedic in any form, game, animation, whatever, what story about her would you want them to tell?
Wow. I had said this at the convention. I'm a Red Dead Redemption fan, so I could definitely see her getting a Schofield revolver or whatever, and telling Arthur, "You can't heal that with whiskey." Um, I would love to be able to show that. Maybe I could be a Time Lord. Maybe I could be on Doctor Who, which I love. Um, Okay, let's stick with Red Dead. Okay, to be able to see that arc of her becoming the Dr. Clark from being this,
Mm,
moral, this is what I believe in. She didn't have anything to go on. She didn't have God. She didn't have any really any all her everything was science based for her.
right.
She had an admiration for Big Boss. When Big Boss died, I think that was a huge trauma to her,
Yeah.
and I think she it just it I think that's what ended up uh, one of the biggest things that she ended up going morally down a completely different direction.
Right.
Um, and I think that I would love to see. I would have loved to have been able to play that arc. And I think it was completely out of trauma. And I think she figured, you know what? I got to get Gray Fox. I got to get this, this super, les enfants terribles, to get this back. I
Yeah.
lost humanity. Humanity's lost to me. Now I have to have science try to make humanity work in my mind.
Yeah. Taking control. I have to do what I can to
Because
take control.
that's the only way I
Yeah.
feel that I could bring back humanity was to do that. Because I really truly believe it was all based on trauma.
Yeah. I,
It's
I
just
would
so
I think
disappointing.
that's a great idea. No, a game where, you know, throughout you have to start making more and more morally questionable decisions and have
Right.
to, you're weighing things but seeing the turn and seeing the gears start to turn.
Yeah,
I
that
think
arc.
that would be incredible. I
Oh my
and
god, I would have loved it.
you know,
Because she just spent years of watching people die, and I'd love to see her on the field. I would love to see her outside of just the codex. I'd love to see her on the field. I'd love to have that type of physicality, like I said, riding on a horse with a revolver or a cool little flamethrower or something that she created for herself you know so I think she felt very powerless at that point. And
We're
so it
gonna
was
we
like,
gotta kickstart this
yeah,
thing, man. We're gonna put a petition,
yes,
animation. We're gonna like
yes.
let's do it might
I,
be
I
too
just
hard for video
yeah,
games, but
I just wanted to, yeah, to slowly slide into this horrifically, you know, traumatic, beautiful, science is gonna fix the world, but it doesn't.
yeah, you it's a slippery slope, it's something we see in the military. It's like, you make it's or let's take it even further back. I went back to comic books where it's like, why doesn't Batman kill? It's because like, hey, once you do it once, it's a slope, then and you start, it gets worse and worse and worse, and then you become one of the bad guys,
Yeah,
and
and Batman's such a great example of that. Is such a great example of that trauma turning into good.
hmm
But
yep.
yeah, that's one of my favorites.
As long as you set rules and behaviors. But
Exactly.
people are getting mad at me. They're like, "Don't end this." Like I can't hold her prisoner all night. Okay, I'm sorry.
Get back. I am just I cannot think. I just cannot emote how much I appreciate you all in
Yeah.
the armed forces. It's everyday prayer for me, for all of you, just for your safety. Because again, I have a very dear friend of mine who is a Marine sniper who I actually work with every now and then. Beautiful man, beautiful family man, and he was just in Somalia, you know. So people don't realize that there's things, I think, because we're like this, people don't realize that there are young men, women, are four-legged, they're in bad places
Yeah,
keeping us safe. So
absolutely.
I just hope and pray that, because it's this age of phones and all this, you know, crap, that people don't lose sight of what sacrifices that people like yourself make. To me, that's everything. So
That's
thank you.
beautiful. I, I yes, I echo everything you say. And I sorry, I had this brain lightning bolt just hit. I had the exclamation point.
And I interrupted you.
Yeah,
See
no,
the
no, no,
differentiation.
no. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. I just had this epiphany. I
Yes,
wanna let's do like a podcast series where it's like codec confessionals,
yes.
and it's just make believe conversations between, like, codec calls between. we'll
I
get
love
we'll
that.
get David, we'll get Chris, we'll get it, and it's the
Oh
most
my
off the
God.
wall, random, has nothing to do with Metal Gear at all. It's
I
just
would
them.
love that. Just,
Konami
R-rated,
would sue the
chocolate
hell out of
bar.
us.
You know what? And next next time that we have to do, and the next time my friends Thomas and Ren, if they're listening, they are building me a cosplay paramedic. I've never cosplayed before, so I'm gonna be cosplaying.
Yes, yes, I'm
I
all for it. I'm all
Me
for it.
too. So what are you gonna come as? That's a
Oh my God. I'm big enough to be one of the Metal Gears, so I'm, I'm gonna be I'll just be a mech suit walking
I
around Mega
could see you
Rex.
as the major. I could see you as the major. You could be Major Zero. I could definitely see you as the major.
I could, but I usually clean up a lot nicer than this. I'm growing in the beard for the holidays. I like to grow in the
I
beard,
love
but
it.
this is
I
the
like beard. So
ugly phase. Yes, the short ugly
no,
phase now.
no, no, no,
Uh,
no, no. Don't. I just want my CQ hat. Next
I
time we meet,
Ladies and gentlemen, I have promised her I have to get her a CQ hat. So it is on record. It is in front of
okay,
an audience. It's on
that's
record.
it.
I have to give her one. Let's do a quick rapid
Yes.
fire,
Have
and
fun.
then I'll finally
Yes.
let
Yes.
you go because
Okay. Okay.
I've taken way too much of your time.
No, you haven't. This has been the most fun since Metal Gear. Because I think anyway. Go right ahead. Go right. I'll stop.
Let's do it. What's something maybe about your career that you wish more people saw? Right, you didn't get enough credit for it, or I hate that's not the way I wanted to
I
say it.
know that's a weird question, isn't it?
It's a
It's
weird
like
way to ask it, but maybe
hers.
something that you were so happy with and passionate about, and it just didn't get to see the light of day, or it just didn't get the recognition, but you loved your part in it, and you wish more people would see it.
I think with any person that's any art, I think this goes for anybody, whatever career you're in. It doesn't matter whatever career you're in. Speaking in this particularly for me, because that's such a weird, because I don't, what the thing is you don't, it's kind of a catch-22, because it's like you do a play, say for instance, and you can't wait to hear the feedback. It's just a natural thing. But at the same time, it's like, am I here because I just want that feedback? Do I have to have that? Or is it because the guy in the third row who's on oxygen, who, is having the time of his life? It's that guy.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that most people might relate to, that I feel, is that, we work so hard at something. And I think because I tend to have such an upbeat attitude, that there's a part of me that's, extremely serious. And, behind the scenes, as you work effortlessly, you work tired, you don't, it, it's a lot, change. You have to change with the times, the careers, acting, voiceover, on camera, whatever. The strike, we're doing things on camera now that you have to be the editor, the director, the producer, so it's I think that's just with anybody, just, looking at somebody and going, you know what, you should be proud of yourself, because, you know you didn't let anything get you down.
Okay.
And if it did, you picked yourself up and you dusted yourself off and you started over again. But I
Mm,
think that's with anybody.
true.
I did the live I did live announce, I did the Grammys. That was my first live announce, was the Grammys years ago. and then I did the Video Game Awards, and then the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. But I did the Grammys, and oh my gosh, it's live, it's pressure, things are changing, Rihanna can't do this, somebody's, freaking, he's on parole, his parole officer won't let the rapper in, whatever, it's blah, 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 blah. But I did the show. It went off without a hitch. It was beautiful. Not one person came to me and said, oh my gosh, Heather, you kicked ass.
Mm.
And I thought, huh, okay. But then I thought, you know what? I was hanging out with the grips. I was hanging out with the lighting people. Those are the people that, you know what I mean?
Mm.
They weren't getting thanked. So it's like, okay, I didn't need it. You know why? Because I came home and my mom gave me a huge hug, and my mom was no BSer. And she really didn't want me in the business because of how
Yeah.
difficult and negative and how people can be sometimes. And that was all I needed. That was really all I needed, to be honest with you. So I just think everybody just needs to know that their value, and that, we all work hard at whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
the fact
Well,
that you know that. Does that make, I hope that
no,
answers that.
absolutely. It's. I think it's a great point of like validation should come from yourself. You know the effort and work that you put into it, and that's where the validation should come. It's always nice to be appreciated and to be,
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are days when I'm like, what the hell? But then I'm like,
we were twice nominated for Best in Entertainment Podcast, so
are you
we
serious?
Yeah,
Awesome.
long time, 2020 and 2021,
No, do not say that. That's amazing. And that's something that it's a collaborative effort, and the people that are watching are the ones that are,
Yeah, absolutely. I feel you on that. You, again, with the codec, I mean, the calls are iconic at this point. Do you have a favorite line? Do you have a favorite moment that you recorded?
My reputation is spotless. I'm highly skilled, patient, and good looking to boot.
There you go. Clip it, ladies and gentlemen. Clip it. It's perfect. Wrap. That's a wrap. Let's see. Oh, man, I don't want to hold you any longer.
Oh, no, you're great. You're great. I love doing this. Are you kidding me?
I could be here all night. Don't tell me that.
Okay, hi. Let's talk.
You know what? Everybody go home. We're just going to be me and Heather. We're talking.
Yeah. Craft services. See that? I don't get crafts. Yeah, whatever.
There you go. If you could voice any character in a different franchise, Marvel, Star Wars, Final Fantasy, what would be something you'd love to be able to give your voice to?
I still go back to Red Dead Redemption.
That's great. It's not a bad thing to go back to. I'm just saying. It's a good choice.
I'm a huge fan. The Last of Us is brilliant too. One that I could voice. So this could be in a film, an animated film.
Absolutely.
Or
could be anything. Could be live action if you want. We're fan casting.
Okay, all right.
You want to be Spider-Man? We'll make you Spider-Man.
Oh, I'd love to be Spider-Man. Or Alfred. I could be Alfred. I could be Alfred in Batman.
Yeah.
I just Lois Lane. Yeah, I could do Lois Lane. I tend to like the villains though too. I'd love to play a villain.
I mean, we've had Vanessa Marshall on, we've had Tasia Valencia on, we had Lori Allen on. Yeah. Some iconic villains, some badass women, Poison Ivy and the Boss and like all these. I mean, I think you could nail a dangerous, sexy, sultry, vixenous kind of role.
I would love that, and I'd also like to play the kind of Quasimodo roles. The ones you underestimate, that you don't think, but then comes out, like Frankenstein or something of that adaptation. I love, I mean, like Young. I don't know if you've seen Young Frankenstein, right? That's one of my favorite films. But yeah, I would love to be in a spy thriller, or maybe even just like a, Alfred Hitchcock, or a Twilight Zone, or help me out, help me out,
Yeah, chat.
Marvel, or
Uh, we
Kid.
someone said Harley. I'm guessing Harley
Yes,
Quinn.
I would love that. Oh yes, I would love to
Yeah, you
play
get
Holly.
you have
Sweet,
it. You have it.
sweetie pie,
Uh,
yeah,
Brittany
lollipop.
says Angela from Spawn. There's like the winged
Ooh,
Angela. Yeah.
get these people's names and numbers.
We gotta start the petition, people. Come on, make it
I'm
happen.
serious. I love that. I was a huge back in my day. I was a huge Lara Croft. Lara Croft
Oh,
was like, oh my gosh, it was all pixelated. But this is Heather, how much I love animals. It's like once you started having to shoot the wolves, I'm like, that's
yeah.
it.
Yep. The tigers, the
Because they're
wolves,
like,
the
I'm like,
dinosaur at one point.
I'm great. I'm great with people. I'll
Sure.
take it in. But
Yeah, yeah,
animals,
yeah. I have no problem shooting people, but when we shoot animals, that's where I
no
draw the
problem
line.
with bad people. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't understand why people don't understand that about me.
What is maybe a favorite role, voice or performance that you did outside of Metal Gear? What's been like your favorite thing that you've done?
Could it be is it strictly
Anything,
voiceover?
anything.
Uh, I loved doing Cassandra Alexandra of Soul Calibur. That was pretty mad. And oh gosh, I loved her because she was just so feisty, and everything was again, doing what's right, but sometimes maybe not having to do it, you know, um the ethical way, but getting the job done. Fire Emblem, I loved doing Fire Emblem. I loved I did a production of the Fantastics, which was the longest running off Broadway show for years. And I'll end it with this. Patsy Swayze said to me, Heather, I think you'd be perfect for this role, but you have to keep your mouth shut. And I said, what role is it? It was for the role of the mute. Now you have to understand the show. The mute's on stage the whole production. So I had to do, and it my mom said this the best. And this is what, again, my mom, I said, Mom, why, my dad had just passed, and it was a really, it was wonderful to be around really great people. But asked my mom, I said, why did you like this so much? She said, Heather, because you didn't have to, everything came with the movement or with your eyes. It wasn't about the words anymore. Everything had to be communicated without voice. So it was funny, it was sad, it was and I got to choreograph a lot of it, and it was in a big theater, and it was but I'll just I'll never forget Patsy saying, you just have to shut up. So that's been something
I
that
was like,
I've dealt with.
is that the longest you've ever been quiet in one sitting? I would imagine.
Probably. Yes.
Fair, fair, fair.
God bless my family. God bless my friends and my family. And
Uh, yeah. Well, thank you. You as well. What is an example of just the craziest, most chaotic direction you maybe have ever been given in the booth? Because give people a sense of like what's kind of feedback, right? Because I'm sure, oh, a little more energy or a little, but what's something like off the wall that maybe as a direction you were given in the booth?
well, I believe I was doing Final Fantasy. Was it Final Fantasy? And my character was drowning. And I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? What? So I said, can I be excused for a second? I have to go to the bathroom. So I went out and got a bunch of water bottles, and I just went in there and I just started chugging water bottle after water bottle after water bottle. And, it was going up my nose. It was going everywhere. That probably, other than playing a lot of zombies, I mean, like really, tearing somebody apart, zombie. I think having to drown that was real. Because
Wow.
as you want it to be real. I mean, what does it sound like to drown? It's panic. It's horrific. It's, Yeah,
Wet.
what? You
Very-
can't do that. I don't know
very
how
wet.
you do that without water. So I was like, I need to get me some water
That's
and
awesome.
figure that out. So yeah.
Well, I have to at this point let you go just because we could talk all night. I think you're a phenomenal person. Uh, Obviously, paramedic is loved by everyone. You have so many iconic roles and been a part of so many franchises. Like I was looking through your IMDb and your Wikipedia, and I'm like, oh my god, I played that. Oh, I remember that. Oh yeah, I did that. Yeah. I
Awesome.
did. So I feel like we go back way further than
We
we
do.
do.
We do. We do.
um,
We have a history. All of us do.
and
Absolutely.
and I will say that to kind of echo the doctor thing you were talking about, meeting that person. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I don't care if people get tired of me saying it, but growing up, I learned right and wrong through comic books, through cartoons, through video games. I grew up in
Right.
a very bad place with very bad people, and but that was my guiding light. That is what, the Power Rangers, the Transformers, the Ninja Turtles,
Right.
those were the ones that showed me, the good guy stands up for the little guy and the bad guy, you push back against the bad guy. It's not always easy. There's these things. And so
Right.
something like Metal Gear was was cherished by me because again, it was this, I'm gonna fight for the little guy and protect the innocent and stand up against injustice. And so that led me to joining the military. And when 9/11 happened, and so thank you. And to your coworkers and the people that you share the screen with and the stage with and the booth with, because it gave me at a very vulnerable young age the guidance, the clarity, the path forward to show, like, right from wrong. So I echo that as well. It's a big part of
You're gonna
me.
cry. It is our pleasure.
It
Our
is.
pleasure. And look how you turned out. You know,
Who
it's a
has it better than us?
there are people that go through some really rough situations, and somehow, some way, like I mean, thank God um, that you were able to do that and
Yeah.
make the right decisions, and I commend you for that, because a lot of people can't find that way.
Yeah.
So you did well. You did well, and thank you for your service, sir. You know who you should have on? Speaking of
Please.
Teenage Ninja Turtles, you need to have Rob Paulson on.
We've had Rob Paulson
Have
on.
you had Rob on? Oh
He
my God,
is one of my favorites.
I adore
Rob,
that man.
he is. I'll send you the link to the interview just because it
Oh, I'd
was
love
such
to
a
see it.
fun conversation.
Oh my God,
Uh,
he's brilliant.
he's
Brilliant.
amazing,
And
amazing,
a
amazing, amazing.
survivor, and yeah, we're all just we're surviving one day at a time.
It's exactly it. Okay, before we let you go, where are you big into social media? Do you want people to follow you? Tell us.
That would be awesome. You can follow me on Instagram. I believe it's Heather.Halley. I have a new website coming out, heatherhalley.com. You can follow me on X. You can follow me on Facebook, which would be awesome. And please feel free to on Instagram. I love when people message me and tell me their stories, and that's a great way for me to be able to connect with people, and I love it. So yes, please let me know, and thank you everybody for being here tonight.
Absolutely. They've been showering you with love in the chat, by
Oh,
the way.
yes, thank
I
you.
can't stop the show every 10 seconds to tell, I love her. She's amazing. She's so great.
Oh, let them live with me.
And sarcastic thing, actually, Cam Clark
Yeah.
is one that is on my bucket list to get
Oh
as
gosh,
well.
yeah, you've got to get Cam.
I've had
Oh.
almost everyone in the Metal Gear family. I've had almost everyone. Cam Clark's one of the last few I've got.
You need to get Jim Pittick.
Jim Pittick, yes,
You
those
need to
two.
figure that
Those are on
one
top
out.
of my list.
You need to get the major on for sure. And I hope that everybody. I know a lot of people that weren't able to go to. Oh, and I apologize. I just got a new convention agent.
Yeah.
good people, Gung Ho
Okay.
Bookings, Andrew Ho. So I would love to meet people wherever they're at. If they have conventions that, please let me know. I'd love to come and meet people and get to see your faces and hear your stories and just,
Yeah.
have that time.
And
I,
we haven't even touched on the fact that, with the remake, Metal Gear Delta, I think they're calling it,
yes.
the Snake Eater remake, like what a perfect time to reintroduce
Oh,
to
yes.
the old players as well as introduce to a
Yeah,
new generation of players
and
um,
I
this
think
amazing story.
I think that's one of the reasons why Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater is because it is such a cult classic, and it's I think it just speaks to so many different generations, and it's the story is just not only visually, it's the storytelling so beautiful, it's funny.
The
You
writing,
wouldn't
oh
expect that. The writing is just, yeah, it's phenomenal. And then when I go back and I watch it, or I still haven't got a chance. On Streamily. I was on Discord. I was watching like the beginning of it, and the scenes are just so gorgeous.
yeah,
So gorgeous. The music's phenomenal, but it's a story.
it
And
is.
it'll resonate with anybody. And yes, you're right. It's such a great beginner. You don't have, do you know what the great thing is about Metal Gear Solid 3 is because you
It's
don't
the
have to go
beginning.
through the other ones.
Hmm.
You're boom, you get it all.
You're
It's
at the
all right
start
there.
of the story.
Yep.
Absolutely, one of the perfect bookends. um, i I have had the time of my life. Heather, you are an incredible person.
Thank
I
you.
implore everyone out there. At this point, they're already following you. They already love you. If they've said here,
Well, you know,
they're already big fans. Uh,
they that's why I'm here. I'm in my jammies and I'm hanging with them.
you and me both. We're just hanging out in our jams.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I love all this stuff behind you. I know we could go on and on forever.
listen,
Okay, I've got to ask you one
yes,
question.
please.
What is your okay, if you could pick something, Captain America, I know you love Spider-Man. I saw your Spider. What would be one thing that maybe the people watching that don't know about? Do you have any Metal Gear stuff back there? Is this
I
on
do
Mars?
have Metal Gear.
Oh,
I have the same
really?
duckies that you have back
Oh,
there.
how funny.
And I have a case that has the key cards from the first game. You had
Oh,
to collect the red, blue,
cool.
green key cards. So I have the key
Yeah,
cards and a few other
yeah.
pieces.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
if you're asking me what's like my favorite thing from
What is
back
your
here,
favorite? I don't know if it's Iron Man. I know it's gonna be Spider-Man. It has to be Spider-Man.
you'd be
Spider-Man.
surprised. So,
Oh?
the people at home know this. My favorite thing of all time, as much as it is Spider-Man, Back to the Future is
Oh,
was so critical. Real quick, only because you've asked
yeah,
and you
yeah. It still is critical.
the like I've gone to conventions a lot as coverage and press and media and things. Uh, my wife knows that more than anything, Back to the Future is this thing in my heart that it. Oh, Michael J. Fox! I wanted to be him and everything. All
That,
these
you
things.
know what? Watching him actually was one of the reasons why I became an actor. So go ahead.
He's phenomenal. And
He's magic.
so there were many years where it kind of faded. It comes around like on the 30th anniversary, 35th anniversary, 40th anniversary. But there was a couple years where it kind of faded. And then out of the blue, Michael J. Fox, Christopher,
Lloyd.
Jesus Christ, Lloyd, thank you. I'm drawing back. And then my God, I know these people's names, and I talking to you, I draw a complete blank. The main cast of
Yes,
Back to the
yes,
Future,
yes.
they were coming to be at a convention for the first time, and it was in like decades at that point. They've done it a lot more recently, but at this time, it was practically unheard of, especially with Michael going through his conditions. And my wife surprised me and got me VIP meet and greet tickets
Oh,
uh,
she's so
to
cool.
meet the three of them. And
Wow.
I, like, as a grown man, I've talked with presidents. I have sat in the Oval Office and talked to presidents. I've, people that I love in movies, but
Right.
I almost cried. I, it was the best day of my life getting to meet Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. and they were everything I wanted them to be. Two quick stories because I think you would love this.
I know. I'm struggling in.
Michael J. Fox, obviously dealing with all he deals with, and I got in line, and I do have a service dog. I don't ever really show him on camera and things like that, but I do have a service dog.
What?
Yes,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so I had my dog with me, and we were at the convention, and they're like, "Oh, you have a dog, so let's move you to the front of the line," which I felt bad about. I was like, "No, I can stand." And they're like, "No, we don't want you to stand here with the dog." So I go in first, and they were very clear. They're like, "This is a photo op. This wasn't the meet and greet. This is the photo op part. Like, you walk in, you stand, you take the picture, you walk out. Do not touch him. Do not engage him. Whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm Army. I can follow instructions." And so I walk in. I said, "Okay, do not touch him. Do not just smile to me." And then he looks. He goes, "Oh, I love your dog." And I'm like, do I say
Do I?
thank you? Like, I was like, I don't know. And he goes, "Oh, are you a veteran?" And I was like, "Yes." And he sticks out his hand to shake my hand, and I'm like, "They said don't touch him. They said don't." But I'm like, I gotta. I like, so I'm
Right,
shaking his
right,
hand, and I'm shaking, and I'm
right.
nervous. And he goes, "Hey, it's cool, man. It's fine." And I'm just like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And so I went to take the picture because now everybody's giving me ugly looks, like all his handlers and things. They're giving me.
Oh, to
And I'm
hell with
like,
them.
and so I go to take the picture, and he goes, "Oh," he's like, "Do you want the dog in the picture?" Now he's on a seat. He's on a seat, and obviously because of his condition, they don't want him like wearing himself out. And so I'm like, "No, no, 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 it's okay, it's okay, it's okay." And because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna pick up the dog to be in this picture because he's a big dog. And
Right.
and he goes, "Ah, let's get the dog in." Gets off his chair, sits
Oh,
on the floor next to my dog. And I'm like, "Oh my God, we're breaking every rule they told me. Don't touch him. Don't get him off his chair." And this is the,
he's a good guy.
and he's such a nice guy. He was the
Good
best. So
guy.
I have a picture. It's up there. It's probably
Oh,
off
I
camera.
can't see it. I
Yeah,
want to see.
I'll show
Is
it
it?
to you. I'll show it to you after the day because it's like off camera. But
Okay,
it's a
okay,
picture of
okay.
him and me on the floor with my dog at a convention. And I'm like, "Oh my God, what a nice guy."
He
And then the
gets it.
second one was meeting Lorraine, which I had obviously had the hugest crush on as a kid. When I'm seeing the movie, that was my crush. And so I got to meet her, and she, "Oh, thank you for your service and all that." And she was loving. And I was like, "I have to tell you one thing." I was too stunned to say it to Michael J. Fox because of everything that
Yeah.
happened. But
Uh,
I said, I was deployed for a long time, and we were lucky to have like a Family Guy and all these things to watch and pass our time. When I got injured, I spent 2 years in the hospital, and one of the like obviously there was a lot of like critical life-saving stuff initially, but once we got past through that stuff, and they're like, "Okay, let's make you as comfortable as we can." One of the things they asked me, what can we bring you? And one of the first things I asked for was a pizza. But the second thing I asked for was a copy of Back to the Future. I said, I need, like, that's
that's your
how I'm
kid.
gonna feel
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And I tell this to her, and she starts bawling. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Don't cry. Please don't cry. I don't want to be the reason you cry."
It was a good cry. It was
It
a
was a good
good
cry.
cry.
And we hugged it out, and it was that memory for me, like you said, for MGS, like that is something that's etched
Oh,
inside my being
yep.
now.
I could die and I think you need to realize too that what you do is so important.
Mm,
What veterans do, people in service, it's just so vital.
mm,
So, you know, when people are crying or when you it shows a lot about a person because
yeah,
you are doing we can't do this without you guys. We can't do any of this.
yeah.
I
Well,
and it that's the way it is. I remember when we had the strike and I'm not going to get into politics or anything, but there was an actor there, talking about how it was right after 9/11 and just very anti-military, and
mm,
I just got up and I looked at him very calmly and I said, "You know what?" I said, "You're able to sit here and spew this
mm,
because of someone that died for you, that went to protect your. So
Yeah.
it's just always baffling to me how people don't understand. That's how it's disheartening for me. That's why I'm hoping that more and more people, like you were saying, to get involved with different
Organizations, yeah.
organizations, and just again, just do it. You don't have to be thanked for it. Just do it because it's, as you would say, CQ, because it's right.
It's the right thing. That's all it
It's
is.
right. That's
I
it.
think that is the perfect button to end on. You nailed it. Right on cue. I want to thank my guest,
Yes.
Heather. You are a friend forever. Ever.
Yes, absolutely, honey.
Anytime you want to come back, promote
It's my
anything,
honor.
or just sit back and watch the show from the background.
I had so much
anytime.
fun. I had my crackers. I was, I was wanting to make sure, my research was intact, and I had a blast watching you guys. You do
Oh,
such a
man.
good job. It's so much fun and so real and refreshing. So keep up the
Thank
good
you.
work, kid. I'll be waiting for my CQ. Hey.
It's coming. It's coming. All right,
I'm
guys.
gonna be wearing that for voiceover jobs and forever. And yeah.
Let's go.
Can you sign it?
If you want me to sign it, are you crazy? I mean, absolutely.
It'll go with
It's
my
going to
Georgia
lower the
hat.
value. It's going to lower the value. The hat will be worth less when I sign it.
Stop. Remember, we ended it up on a good note.
That's
Do the right
right.
thing.
That's
Sign
fair.
it.
That's fair. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to throw it to a break so I can personally say goodbye to my guest. This has been the incredible Heather. I almost said Haley. Almost said it. Oh,
You're
like that.
asking.
Halley. Heather Halley,
Have
ladies
some
and
more
gentlemen.
whiskey. We're gonna have cigars after this.
I'll give you the last second here. Say goodbye to the audience, and then we'll toss it to a break.
Not goodbye. I will see you later. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Thank you, CQ.
Outstanding. We'll be right back with more.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, right? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, would you think because the show's going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
In the shadows of the city bright, where heroes rise and take the fight, there's a voice that breaks the night. It's CQ at the insight. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends in those crazy scenes, pop culture trends and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends and those crazy scenes, pop culture trends and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charts so bright, we're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charts so bright, we're ready for another flight. Marvel at the twists and turns, villains playing heroes learn. Every episode we'll discern lessons from the past to learn. Games we play and books we read, CQ's wisdom's what we need. Memories that make us bleed, together we will take the lead. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charts so bright, we're ready for another fight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charts so bright, bright. We're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charts so bright, we're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charts so bright, we're ready for another flight.
Hi there. You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. This is the way.
You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. The force is strong. They have the high ground.
Hey everybody, we are back. I'm back. Let's punch in a little bit here. Hi. Sorry that took so long. Me and Heather, bruh, I got a new best friend, and her name's Heather. I could talk to that woman all night long, all day. Like, what a great energy, what a great person. Said it before, say it again. You know, we're very fortunate that we get to interview just some of the best people, and it doesn't matter, actor, voice actor, fucking, I don't care, manicurist, it doesn't matter. Just really good people with incredible stories, who've done so much and been a part of so much, and leave such a legacy. So couldn't have been happier. Oh God. I have the post interview, like, just glow, the awash of like, that went well. So, for all of you that stuck around for the Heather, my brain keeps wanting to say Haley. It's not Haley. Halley. Heather Halley interview. Thank you. She's great. I shared the love that you guys poured on her. I appreciate it. Obviously, you know, when our audience participates and shows appreciation for the people, and she's awesome, man. She's awesome. I'm gonna get her some resources to do some veteran outreach work and charity stuff, and yeah, just good people. And I got to send her a care package. I officially have to send her a care package. She's gonna get the CQ hat, the Pop Culture Warrior, maybe a T-shirt, and a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah, that's now you have me questioning the pronunciation. Yes, she gave it to me perfect. It's Halley, like valley with an H, Halley. Because I keep like the alliteration part of my brain keeps wanting to go into Heather Haley, but no, Heather Halley, like valley. Thank you, Ton, man. Thank you. It was a great interview. I man, she's wonderful. Okay. For wrapping up purposes, obviously, everybody knows. At this point, everybody knows. Everybody's left knows. Mondays is King and Me and Monday Edition. Tuesdays, Pop Culture Warrior. Wednesdays, our second doubleheader of the week with Sports Bar and the Smoke Pit. Thursdays is Sergeant's Time. Every other Friday is FTX. And every Saturday is Weekend Co-ops. You know the times. You know the channels. You know the hosts. You know the people. Tune into the shows. They're great. They all represent a great portion of our audience and of our commitment to continuing the veteran conversation. So tune in. And lastly, we are getting closer and closer to the end of our season of the year 2025. We are wrapping up the year. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting that senioritis of like, oh, I could use a vacation. It's been a year, man. It has been a year. I feel like I've lived 2 lifetimes in this last year. It's been oh fuck. It's been a lot. But we have a couple more episodes for you. Should be the 25th next week, and then the first 2 or 3 weeks in December, the 2nd, 9th, and 16th are episodes. And so it'll be most likely the 9th and the 16th, because everybody wants to know when we're doing the next giveaway. Yes. The episodes on December 9th and December 16th will be back to back giveaways. So tune in. Start saving your pennies, because I'm like, I can give all this stuff away. I can't cover all the shipping, because my God, y'all live all over the fucking world. I can't ship everywhere. I can't swing that. There's a government shutdown, people. Can't be swinging all that money. But if you're willing to cover the shipping, I will send you large packages of things. But anyway, thank you again to our guest, Heather Halley. Yeah, I said that right. I was making yes, I said it right. Thank you to our guest, Heather Halley. Thank you for you guys for tuning in. Thank you for K-Mill for hanging out with us in the first hour and talking about all the what's been happening. Thank you to my Secret Santa, who provided some upcoming goodies to be putting into the background. I'm gonna have to literally this holiday season, I'm gonna tear this whole thing down and reorganize it and into a new, fun, unique background for the year of our Lord 2026. But yeah, so Wolverine and Doctor Doom will be joining the background as part of the Rogues Gallery. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with us. We will see you next week. Take care of each other. Shots.
Let's see it.